It's time for Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Wolverine Football is also brought to you by the Triangle Bar and Grill, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, Bush Brothers Car Care, The Barbers Inn in Swissvale, A-Boss Opticians, Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club, Web Landings, and LG3 Entertainment. Now it's time for the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show.
A pleasant good evening and welcome to the Wolverine of the Turtle Creek, home of your Woodland Hills Wolverines. And today it's home to a WPIAL 5A Allegheny 9 matchup between the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the visiting Fox Chapel Foxes. Woodland Hills 1-1 on the year, 1-0 in Allegheny 9 play, while Fox Chapel is 0-2 on the season and 0-1 within the same conference. Woodland Hills comes off of a 40-6 victory last week at Baldwin, while Fox Chapel lost at home 41-28 to West Allegheny. These two teams met a year ago, and it was a 54-12 victory for the Woodland Hills Wolverines, and it was also the 300th win for Woodland Hills head coach George Novak. We're going to step away for a couple of minutes, and when we return, Bob Orquist is going to give us his pregame analysis, and we're also going to hear from Rick McIntyre down on the field. All of that and more as the pregame show rolls on right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com. The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
And we welcome you back to the Wolverina, where Woodland Hills hosts the Fox Chapel Foxes in an Allegheny 9 conference matchup. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist, and Rick McIntyre on the call for you all across the Woodland Hills Football Network. And let's start off with Bobby. Last week you had the play-by-play for the big win against Baldwin. The Highlanders drove down the field to start the football game, but the Wolverines answered back after that field goal and scored 40 unanswered points.
Yeah, they did a good job to recover from that. Just 2 big plays allowed by the defense for Woodland Hills, so they did a tremendous job in shutting Baldwin down. They shook off the opening field goal by the Fighting Highlanders, and a fact that Nazir Taylor had an interception return for a touchdown that was taken off the books. But you mentioned it, 40 unanswered points, 207 yards rushing for the Wolverines last week against Baldwin. They're averaging just under 200 yards as a team. So tremendous to get victory number 1 in the Allegheny 9 Conference under their belt. Now they're going to try to piggyback that and get their first home win of 2017 here this evening.
Now let's send it down to the field where Rick McIntyre is going to join us. And Rick, I saw you deep inside of the Woodland Hills huddle and watching the pregame warm-ups. Tell me what you saw from the Wolverines headed into this conference lid lifter at home.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. I like to walk the field a little bit before the game, get a feel of the coaches and see what the other team, what they think of them. And tonight I think it comes down to a
Fox Chapel
matter of execution.
has won the toss.
Fox Chapel, all the way down the line, when it comes to the line of scrimmage, I think has a little bit of weight, a little bit of size advantage on Woodland Hills. And it's going to be about execution tonight and see if the game plan works out for Woodland Hills.
So again, it's the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Fox Chapel Foxes in this Allegheny 9 conference matchup. Thank you very much, Rick. And Bobby, as we look towards this football game, obviously Woodland Hills wants to get their first home conference win, number one, and number two. We want to make sure that Tim Boster gets his first home victory of his career.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple keys tonight for Woodland Hills. They want to watch out for Nick Gizzo, the quarterback for Fox Chapel, dual threat quarterback, running and throwing the football. The senior, he has thrown for 215 yards and a couple touchdowns on the season. He's also the leading rusher for Fox Chapel in the year, 171 yards through the first 2 games, averages 4.5 per carry. He has scored 3 touchdowns. Micah Morris is also one to look out for, the big senior running back at 6'2", 243, but he has been keyed on by the first 2 opponents, Mount Lebanon and West Allegheny. And Morris has not put up great numbers yet. We get our first chance to see 2 of the big playmakers, actually maybe all 3 of them back for Woodland Hills Deep, Nazir Taylor, Rodney Denard, and Jaquan Smith. Last year, Jaquan Smith in the win over Fox Chapel scored a pair of touchdowns.
So again, Woodland Hills will get the ball first to begin this football game. We'll set the scene for you. Far sideline, the Wolverines all black. Black jerseys, black pants, turquoise numerals with the white trim, and the turquoise helmets with the black ears and stripes near sideline of the Fox Chapel Foxes. And we'll talk about their uniform momentarily as we are underway in Turtle Creek, PA. A kick that'll bounce to the far sideline and out of bounds. Woodland Hills will start this football game at their own 35-yard line after the kick carries out of bounds by Andrew Jeffrey, the 5'9" senior.
Maybe for the best for Fox Chapel, because that ball was to the far side of the field. That's where Nazir Taylor was waiting for it. He had the 72-yard punt return for a touchdown.
On the kicking team, they elect to take the ball to the 35-yard line. First down.
And we hear from our referee, Eric Hall.
The dulcet tones of Eric T. Hall.
So no time elapses as Woodland Hills will take this ball at the 35-yard line, and they'll take it on the right hash. As Daniel Jones steps under center, and he'll hand it off to Rodney Denard, who breaks a tackle, and he's off to the races inside of the 40 to the 35, and finally brought down inside of the 25 at around the 22-yard line before the tackle ultimately made by a Fox Chapel D-back. On the stop is Drew Witt, but a huge pickup there for Rodney Denard, shifts field position from one side to the other.
45 yards on the first pop. A lot of times we will see Denard line up on a wing and take a jet sweep. This time, straight power, off tackle, breaks the tackle at the 40 and takes it all the way to the Fox's 20-yard line.
So Daniel Jones steps under center again here, and again he'll hand off to Ronnie Denard, who runs to the right-hand side, tries to break a tackle to no avail. Stop made by Luke Hoover, and we'll say about a loss of a yard, maybe 2 on that play, back to the 22-yard line. And that'll bring up second down and 12 after Denard picked up 45 yards on the first play from scrimmage.
2 different looks. You get Denard both in the I formation. One straight power run. This time he tries to go around the right edge, and a good job by Hoover, the senior, to make the tackle.
Jones off of play action, pressured as he rolls to his right-hand side now. Grabbing a hold of his horse collar were a couple of Fox Chapel players, and while Jones is brought down by Micah Morris, this is going to go against the Fox Chapel Foxes.
We've seen Jones with some escapability and some confidence running out of the backfield. He did a good job to avoid the initial pressure, but then was horse-collared near the far sideline. Eric T. Hall and his crew deciding the correct call. The flag dropped at the 32, which was right where Daniel Jones was brought down.
On the previous play, we have face mask on the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty. It'll still remain second down.
So from our vantage point, it looked like a horse collar was grabbed. Apparently a face mask was grabbed up front as well. Either way, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, and that's going to push the ball forward to the 16-yard line, where it'll be second down and a reasonably manageable 6 for the Wolverines.
So loss of 10 and then 15 from the spot foul. You got it either way. Right hand, horse collar, left hand, face mask. So either way, a 15-yarder against the Foxes.
Michael Whitehurst will step under center for the first time this season, and the left tackle for the Wolverines moves early. Andre Hillard is the one who moves early.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
You get a nice change of pace. Whitehurst had some time at the quarterback slot last year, primarily playing the first 2 games as a receiver, but he did throw for 283 yards during last year's season. So you could put him in there as a change of pace. Also ran the ball 8 times from scrimmage in 2016 for Woodland Hills.
So 2nd and 11 now. The handoff to Nard. He runs up the gut. The ball comes loose. The Foxes jump on the football, and the Wolverines turn it over on the fumble by Rodney Denard. It'll be 1st and 10 for Fox Chapel. The ball at the 24-yard line. Micah Morris on the defensive stop and the fumble recovery for Fox Chapel.
So things started off great for Woodland Hills. First play from scrimmage, Denard goes 45 yards to the Fox Chapel 20, but then a loss of 2 and a sack, but that was erased by personal foul. Denard this time into the right side of the scrimmage. Good awareness by Micah Morris to pick up that football, and the first turnover of the game benefits Fox Chapel.
So again, Fox Chapel will start this drive at their own 24 after the fumble by Rodney Denard. Pistol formation. The quarterback, Nick Gizzo. Handoff will go to Morris. He'll lower his shoulders, driving his way forward up towards the 28-yard line before being brought down by a couple of Wolverines. Anthony Bullock in on the stop, as is Marcus Taylor for the Wolverines.
Morris, returning starter, he and Gizzo sparked Fox Chapel to a 5-0 finish to the regular season last year. Morris was over 1,000 yards, actually just under 1,300, but this year struggling just 1.8 yards through the first 2 games per carry.
This time an option, and Gizzo's going to keep it himself. Running to his left-hand side, he'll pick up a couple of yards. Down at the bottom of the pile for the Wolverines is Eric Oliver, and the pickup of 2 brings up 3rd down and about 4.
With Gizzo's ability to run that option, run that spread look, run that shotgun formation, you got to make sure you stay home, play assignment football, and don't over-pursue if you're the Woodland Hills defense.
Power pistol, Gizzo off of play action, rolling to the near side right, trying to dump it off to the back out of the backfield, and the intended receiver, Luke Brown, can't reach out and grab a hold of the football. The incomplete pass brings up 4th down and 4, and the punt unit should come on here for the Foxes as they are backed up to their own 30.
You mentioned it, out of the power pistol. They fake to the far side and spin to the near side. A good job by Anthony Bullock, the junior linebacker, to stay home. He got pressure, maybe forced Gizzo to throw that just a little bit too quickly, causing the incompletion.
And a timeout is called as Fox Chapel had their offense on the field. The Wolverines will use a timeout, and that'll give us an opportunity to step away as well. 9:28 to play in quarter number 1. We are scoreless here at the Wolverina. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Fox Chapel Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
In a scoreless first quarter. Punt unit now on for Fox Chapel, and the punt nearly blocked, an end-over-end punt that a Wolverine may have gotten a fingertip on. It'll carry out of bounds to the far sideline, and we will see the Woodland Hills offense come back onto the field for the 2nd time today. And Rick McIntyre, I understand you have an update on Daniel Jones, why we see Whitehurst running the O.
Yeah, it looked like on that the last possession, the play with the face mask or the horse collar, whatever actually happened, I couldn't get a good view on it. But he came off right after that play, left ankle. Looks like Coach D'Amico was looking at that. And it looks to me like maybe a high ankle sprain, the way that they were cutting the tape and reapplying and what they were looking at. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Sounds good. So for the moment, Michael Whitehurst is the quarterback for Woodland Hills, who has played receiver through the first 2 games of his senior year. I backfield behind Whitehurst as the handoff this time is going to go to Jaquan Smith. He'll run to his left-hand side, drive his way forward for a couple, maybe 3 yards before he's driven back by a host of white jerseys. Leading the charge, Luke Brown.
Good to have someone who has experience. Mentioned that Whitehurst and Jones, as juniors last year, split some time. So Whitehurst comes in, first carry of the game for Jaquan Smith. I've been pretty impressed with the running game as a whole. It's been a running back by committee, as you called it in the opening week 0 loss to Gateway, and they've done a good job. Mentioned that they were over 200 yards last week against Baldwin, just under 200 a game after the first 2 contests.
Off of play action, Whitehurst rolling to his right, has time, throws it deep. It's going to be a jump ball, and Nazir Taylor turns into a defensive back as he has to knock that ball away from Jacob Wecht. Now, Taylor had an opportunity to try to reach up over Wecht and pull it away, but instead he pushes it down to the turf as Wecht was trying to pull it down.
Well, Nazir Taylor comfortable being a defensive back as he plays that side, or that position on the other side of the football for Woodland Hills. Rolling to his right and then turning back, and definitely underthrown. They were actually underthrown 2 white jerseys waiting for, and Taylor did a good job to go up and knock it away from Luke Brown. Or check it, it wasn't Brown, it was Jacob Wecht, as you mentioned, to cause the incompletion.
So now a shotgun with a sidecar to the left-hand side of Whitehurst. That sidecar, Christopher Jones, motion man from right to left, is Jaquan Smith, and a flag flies before the snap. And we will check in with our referee, Eric Hall, to see what this infraction is. We've had several penalties thus far in the early goings here.
Prior to the snap, we have encroachment on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
So after the penalty, it'll be 3rd and short, 3rd and 2 for Woodland Hills with the football at the Fox Chapel 37.
Probably will change the play call. 3rd and 7 to a 3rd and 2. Maybe we go from a passing situation to a situation where you can run the football. Maybe even look at a 2-down situation if you can't make the 2 here on 3rd down.
High backfield behind Whitehurst instead of the shotgun that we saw a moment ago, and the handoff will go to Christopher Jones. And I think a hard count by Whitehurst may have drawn the Foxes off sides. We're going to check in with our official to see what the call was.
I think you think correctly. That's going to be a 1st down for Woodland Hills. Back-to-back encroachments against the Foxes.
Prior to the snap, we got dead ball, encroachment on the defense. Result of the penalty, 1st down.
And that time it was the nose tackle, number 69, Zachary Carsey, who encroached the neutral zone there to give Woodland Hills the 1st down to the 32-yard line. Whitehurst will step under center with an high backfield behind him. Receivers split to either side and a tight end to the right of the formation. Clock stopped at 8:18 to play here in a scoreless first quarter. As Whitehurst, 3-step drop, looking left the whole way. Looking right rather the whole way, and the pass intended for Nazir Taylor is incomplete. Nice on-ball coverage there by Corey Simmons as Taylor couldn't come down with the football, and Taylor has a word for the official, thought he may have been interfered with.
Little fade pattern to the far flag for Nazir Taylor. He's becoming a big play weapon in 2017. I don't know. A right-hand swipe by Corey Simmons might have gotten a piece of Taylor before that ball actually got to Nazir near the 3-yard line.
So it's 8:12 to play here in the first quarter. As the handoff will go straight up the gut, Jaquan Smith is the ball carrier. He'll pick up a handful of yards inside of the 30 to the 27-yard line. Luke Hoover on the tackle. Also Micah Morrison on the stop. So the gain of 5 brings up 3rd down and 5 for the Wolverines with the football at the 27-yard line. Second possession for the Woodland Hills offense today. The first one ended inside of the Fox Chapel red zone on a fumble by Rodney Denard. Jaquan Smith, the ball carrier, burst free inside of the 10 to the 5, across the goal line for a Woodland Hills touchdown. What a gaping hole there for Jaquan Smith.
You called it a burst, and indeed it was. Smith was going off of right tackle, and right guard. And once he saw the hole, he just burst through it and goes into the end zone for Jaquan Smith, his 3rd rushing touchdown. He got away from Micah Morris, and then a big burst, a little bit of a step back to his left. But the rest of the way untouched for 27-6 for number 10, and the Woodland Hills Wolverines have a 6-0 lead.
Chucky Hanchett on to attempt the PAT. High snap. Whitehurst gets it down. The PAT by Hanchett is up and in, and with 7:33 to play in quarter number 1, the scoreboard reads Woodland Hills 6 and Fox Chapel 0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Creek, where Woodland Hills steps out to a 7-0 lead on a 27-yard touchdown run by Jaquan Smith. Just a gaping hole over right tackle. The pulling guard from the left-hand side, Michael Lucas, led the way, and then it was Jaquan Smith to the house.
Damian Thomas as well, the right tackle, did a good job to pinch in and created that big hole. The rest was all Smith. A good start for Jaquan Smith. 3 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown.
Chucky Hanchett's kickoff, end over end down to the 7-yard line, where it'll be returned by Fox Chapel. And a big hole up the gut initially for the return man, Mulda, and then the ball comes loose, and I think the Wolverines came down on top of it. They unpile, and Woodland Hills has the football. The recovery by Teron Best, and the Wolverines have the ball inside of Fox's territory around the 33-yard line after the fumble by Muhina.
And Malid Muhina did a good job and fought for some extra yards at the end of that play. Initially was stopped up on a hit by Jaden Lucas, and then trying to fight for extra yardage, and the ball just came loose. There were 3 black jerseys on that football, but coming out of the bottom of the pile was Best, and it's great field position again for Woodland Hills.
Daniel Jones back in for the Wolverines, and he is going to hand off to Christopher Jones, who will lower his shoulders, drive his way forward inside of the 30 down to around the 28-yard line for a gain of about 4. So good to see Daniel Jones back in the lineup after being shaken up on the first possession for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Rick told us he may have an ankle injury, so we'll have to see how that affects his mobility. This case, though, Christopher Jones, who did not carry the ball last week against Baldwin, but did in the opener against Gateway, gets 4 on that carry. So Woodland Hills, they started the opening drive at their 35, but the big run by Denard put them in the Fox Chapel territory. They've spent all this first quarter in Fox's territory.
Daniel Jones has time as he looks to his right, and I don't think he and Naz Taylor were on the same page. And Daniel Jones is going to be brought down way back at the 36 or 37-yard line. Now the helmet comes off after the play, and it is up to the official's discretion if Daniel Jones has to come off of the field in this situation, and I do believe he may have to, and he's got a good hitch in his getty-up as he goes to that far boundary.
Yeah, definitely limping, but pressure. Micah Morris has been good on defense. He got the initial pressure, and then Scott Hastings came in, and finishing was Adam Wu. Those 3 take Daniel Jones back to down for the sack, all the way back to the 37, a loss of 9.
So Whitehurst back in at quarterback again for Woodland Hills, and this time the Wolverines backed up to 3rd and 15 at the Fox Chapel 37. Southpaw Whitehurst. Going to pitch. Nazir Taylor coming from left to right. Picks up a block, tries to cut it inside, still on his feet, spinning his way forward, and will be brought down at the 25-yard line, and he'll pick up a dozen there where it initially looked like he was going to be hemmed in for a gain of maybe 2.
No question about it. That's just getting the ball to one of your playmakers, and Taylor, with the individual effort, took the end around from left to right, near side to far side, and he was kind of hemmed in towards the far sideline, but a little spin here, a juke there, and makes it about a 4th and 3, 4th and 2.5, so a good pickup. We'll give Taylor 11 on the end around.
Offense stays on the field here on 4th down and 3, and Daniel Jones returns. He'll hand off to the fullback, Christopher Jones, who will drive his way forward, close to the first down marker. It'll depend on the spot, but it looks like he got right to the 22, which is the spot. And if they place the ball at the 22, it's enough for the first down.
Needed 3, picked up 3. Even though we'll get in a measurement to make sure, but it looks like he's got the hash. That's a good job getting it to the up back. Jones at 5'10", but 202, the power runner from the inside. We'll see if Woodland Hills gets their 4th first down in the first quarter.
Woodland Hills with this football reasonably deep inside of Fox Chapel territory after a fumble on the kick return by Muhina for Fox Chapel. And that kickoff came after the 27-yard touchdown run by Jaquan Smith. They'll stretch the chains, place the sticks, and it's a Woodland Hills first down. So a pickup of 3 there for Christopher Jones, the fullback for the Wolverines. And it's 1st and 10, ball at the 22. Bobby, a year ago, Jaquan Smith had a great game against Fox Chapel. He was our State Senator Jay Costa player of the game against the Foxes on the road in that 54-12 victory.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns for Jaquan Smith in that victory. Nazir Taylor also had a touchdown in that contest of the returning players for Woodland Hills. He returned it 43 yards.
Handoff this time, Anthony Bullock. And Bullock will drive his way forward down to around the 20-yard line where Jacob Wecht makes the tackle for the Fox Chapel Foxes. Pickup of 2 there.
Corey Simmons also got on there, but a good job for Bullock to kind of roll off that initial hit to pick up 2. So if you got it, here it is already for Woodland Hills. Running back by committee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, including the 2 sacks on Daniel Jones, have run the football for Woodland Hills.
Handoff, Bullock running to his right-hand side. He'll be brought down around the 17-yard line, driven back by a host of Foxes, Luke Hoover and Adam Wu on the tackle for Fox Chapel. Beautiful sunset here in Turtle Creek, PA, as Woodland Hills leads Fox Chapel 7-0 with 4 minutes to play in quarter number 1. The Wolverines threatening here with the ball 3rd down and about 5 at the 17-yard line. Line to gain is the 12. So Daniel Jones has been in and out of the game, once with an ankle injury, then once with the helmet coming off. So Michael Whitehurst, who has subbed in, is now in at receiver to the near side left at the slot. Jones, straight drop back, feels some pressure, steps to his right. Just tossed one Fox off of him and then was brought down by the second wave by Adam Wu.
First guy, Timothy Johnston, had the pressure, and you're absolutely right. Used his strength right there to just shuck that tackle. But then when he stepped up, he was looking to the near side, possibly to Whitehurst. It was Wu who came in and finished the deal for the Foxes.
So at this point, it would either be around a 41-yard field goal or Woodland Hills keeps the offense on the field on 4th and a dozen with the ball at the 24-yard line. Looks like the offense is going to stay out there, at least for the moment. And Woodland Hills will break the huddle. And Whitehurst stands alone. Ball at the 30. Maybe a pooch kick here by Michael Whitehurst. And he's going to drop back. He's going to look to his left-hand side. He's going to throw it to the end zone, and it's tipped away by a Fox Chapel Fox. There were 2 Wolverines back there, but tipping the ball away for Fox Chapel was Chase Villani. Jaquan Smith was back there, as was Jaden Lucas, both Wolverines in the vicinity, but it was the Foxes tipping that ball away. It's a turnover on downs, and it's Fox Chapel ball at the 24.
That's unfortunate that Whitehurst underthrew that by about a yard because Jaquan Smith broke down the middle on the post pattern. It was wide open in the end zone. Good job to get back there by Villani, the senior at 6'3", also used that to his advantage to knock that away. They turned the ball over on downs. So it's 7-0 late in the first quarter. I'd like to say Woodland Hills defense has done a good job, but they've only been on the field for 3 plays from scrimmage so far in this first quarter.
1st and 10 for Fox Chapel. The ball at their own 24. Shotgun this time. Gizzo is going to run to his right-hand side. He has some room there as he turns the corner, drives his way forward out towards the 40-yard line. There was a Wolverine being held right around the defensive end spot before Christopher Jones ultimately makes the tackle for Woody High.
Also in there is Anthony Bullock, who's been aggressive and active on defense, but that's a good pickup of 15 yards for Gizzo. Didn't notice who the Wolverine defender who might have had a little bit of hold was out there. That's right where the tackle was made by Bullock.
And I think it may have been Teron Best on this near D end. Handoff this time going to go to the big tailback for Fox Chapel, Micah Morris, and he'll lower his shoulders, picking up about a yard.
Underneath, Teron Best. Over the top, Sidney Summers. That's good tandem tackle, and you need to do that because Micah Morris is a load at 6'2" and 243. They stop him for a pickup of just 1.
2nd and 9 as the clock winds to 1:40 to play here in the first quarter. Woodland Hills up 7-0. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Gizzo, power pistol. It's going to hand off to Micah Morris, who absorbs a blow right at the line of scrimmage and then drives his way forward for a modest gain of about 3.
Absorbs a blow or gives a blow?
A little bit of both,
I
as
think
Caleb
so,
Brevard makes the tackle ultimately for Woody High.
I believe it was Sidney Summers who was either giving or receiving that blow from Micah Morris.
Shotgun for Gizzo. He's going to pull it out of the belly of Morris. He'll run forward. He's got the first down and much more for Fox Chapel before finally being brought down by Elijah Rash all the way at the 40-yard line.
That's a pickup of 16 more. So Gizzo mentioned his dual threat ability, 0 for 1 in this first quarter, but his last 2 runs he's gained 15 and 16 respectively, picks up another first down for Fox Chapel.
2 receivers right, 1 to the far side left. Gizzo's going to pull it out of the belly of Morris, try to run to his left-hand side, but nowhere to go as Anthony Bullock makes the stop for Woody High.
That's a good job by Bullock to stay home because Gizzo did a good job. He kept that ball in the belly of Morris for a long time. And then when he tried to take it back to the other side, it was Bullock who came up and dropped Gizzo for a pickup of 1 to the 39.
Clock winding to 20 seconds here in quarter number 1. Fox Chapel may run one more play before the frame ends. 2 receivers right. Gizzo going to run to the right-hand side. Tries to cut it back to the left. Instead goes back to the right again, and he'll be undercut by a Wolverine. Jaquan Smith makes the stop, and that'll be the final play of quarter number 1. We'll head to the second quarter. Woodland Hills leading Fox Chapel 7-0, but the Foxes driving as we speak. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Hand off. Micah Morris, big hole over left tackle, and he will head to the goal line and cross that goal line for a touchdown for the Fox Chapel Foxes on the first play of quarter number 2.
Fox is trying to tie this game up with Andrew Jeffrey.
And that PAT by Jeffrey is up and in. End over end kick that'll go shallow to around the 19-yard line, where Rodney Denard will be on the return for Woody High. Tries to turn the corner to the near side, eludes some Foxes, bursts free for a moment. Now he'll be wrapped up and brought down, still dragging white jerseys as he crosses the 45 out towards around the 47-yard line, where Zachary Carsey makes the stop for Fox Chapel. But a nice return for Rodney Denard. We'll bring up 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills with decent field position at the 47.
That's a whole lot of 1-2 by Rodney Denard. He had a 61-yard kick return in the victory last week over Baldwin. That time he did a good job to just make an additional, I'm going to call it 20 yards on his own, at the end of that 15 to 20 yards, getting the ball all the way out to the Woodland Hills 47-yard line.
And as we heard from Rick a moment ago, Woodland Hills going to be without Daniel Jones, at least for this quarter, expectedly, as he'll hand off to Christopher Jones, who drives his way forward for a gain of about a yard before being driven back by a few white jerseys. Down at the bottom of the pile for Fox Chapel is Riley Michael. So we'll see Michael Whitehurst, at least for the moment, as the Woodland Hills QB.
The dreaded high ankle sprain, as we were informed by Rick. That was the vogue injury of a couple years ago, and that's a hard one to come back for. And we talked about Jones. His mobility has been a key. He's been able to use his mobility as escapability. So Whitehurst is pretty athletic, although not nearly as big as Daniel Jones.
Second down and 9 for Woodland Hills. Naz Taylor, the motion man from right to left, and as he takes the end around, he'll be wrapped and brought down right around the line of scrimmage. Cole Waxter on the tackle for Fox Chapel.
Well done by Waxter, staying home on the far side. And they go to Taylor. We talked about his big playability. He could take that reverse. He scored on the 20-yard reverse last week against Baldwin, but Waxter stayed home and made the tackle. 3rd and long for Woodland Hills.
3rd and 9. Whitehurst off of play action, rolls to his left-hand side. He's going to heave-ho it down that far boundary, and a diving attempt by a Fox and a Wolverine for the football. Taylor can't come up with it, neither can that D-back for Fox Chapel, and the incomplete pass will bring on the punt unit.
I think Villani was in on the coverage over there. 2 Fox Chapel Foxes, and it was underthrown by Whitehurst, and Whitehurst will just stay out there to kick it away.
So again, Whitehurst to punt this one away with 10:05 to play in the second frame. The snap will carry over Michael Whitehurst's head. He's going to have to retreat. He's going to boot it away, and it's going to be not too bad considering where he had to punt that football from and considering he was on the run when he did it. Ultimately, this ball's going to be down at around the 34-yard line, maybe the 35-yard line, but I'll tell you what, Bobby, he made something out of nothing there.
So I'm going to make a note here because it's only week 3, really week 2, because for some reason it's week 0. As your call right there, it turned out not that bad. Maybe the understatement of the year, because that's a tremendous job by Whitehurst not to panic. He got back there, turned around and kicked it. You take as much as you can get, and it turned out to be pretty good, rolling all the way to the Fox Chapel 35. So good job by Michael Whitehurst to really avert disaster.
Tied up at 7-all here with 9:53 to play in quarter number 2. Two receivers in a slot to the right-hand side, one receiver to the near side left, sidecar to the right-hand side of Gizzo. Gizzo with some time, looking across the middle, and the pass is complete on the reception. Drew Witt. And they're going to say he's down at the midfield stripe for a pickup of 15 and a Fox Chapel first down.
Taylor brings him down. That's the first completion of the game for either quarterback. Just a little nice slant pattern to the near side. You take a few steps, drive the defensive back off, cut to the middle of the field, and they do it well. Witt makes the tackle, the senior at 6'3", or makes the catch at 6'3", 175.
Two receivers left, one to the far side right. Hand off to Morris. Gaping hole up the gut, and there goes Morris again. Straight up the middle. Ronnie Denard trips him up, but not before he gets all the way down inside of the 15, and they'll say he's down around the 10-yard line. So a pickup of 40 yards there for the barreling Micah Morris.
5 carries, 82 yards. Mentioned that Morris was bottled up. Well, he's broken out of that bottle in a big way here in the first half. A 33-yard touchdown, and now a 40-yard burst to the Woodland Hills 10-yard line.
Morris trying to cut back against the grain as there was a massive humanity in front of him. Tackle made by Anthony Bullock, and that'll bring up second down and goal from the 10-yard line.
Bullock's been pretty active. The junior linebacker at 5'11", 167. Barlow also in on the tackle as well, but Bullock's been under there, and that's a load. We talked about how big Morris is. You definitely need several shirts and several helmets on him to bring him down.
Gizzo running to the left. Nowhere to go as Bullock was the first Wolverine there. He'll toss him to the sideline where a final shove by Sidney Summers ends the play. A gain of about a yard brings up 3rd down and goal from the 9.
Just a good job to spring it out by Bullock. Gizzo wanted to turn that up as he faked the handoff and came to the near side to his left, but Bullock strung him out to the sideline. Actually, they spot him at the 9, so no gain for Gizzo.
Gizzo, shotgun, sidecar to his left. Looking right as he has 3 receivers over there. Crossing route across the goal line, and the pass is incomplete. Diving for the football went Jacob Wecht, but he couldn't haul it in, and the incomplete pass brings up 4th and goal, and the field goal unit comes on for the Foxes.
A little bit underthrown by Gizzo to the far side to his right. He had 2 receivers out there, one at the back boundary, and the pass intended for Wecht was at the goal line and just underthrown as he came in on the little crossing route and the slant pattern in. Jeffrey's going to come on to try to kick his 3rd field goal of the season for the Foxes.
Ball on the left hash. This will be a 26-yard field goal, and that one with plenty of leg is going to carry into the woods, in fact. And Woodland Hills trails Fox Chapel 10-7 with 8:36 to play in the first half. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Fox Chapel Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
LG3 Entertainment is a first-class disc jockey and karaoke entertainment company that serves the Pittsburgh and surrounding areas. They offer a wide range of music entertainment for weddings, anniversaries, school dances, corporate events, and more. They also offer beautiful chair cover linen rentals to give your event the elegance it deserves. They offer many more services, so go to their website today and see why so many choose LG3 Entertainment for the best in family fun entertainment.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Woodland Hills trailing Fox Chapel 10-7 as the Foxes have ripped off 10 unanswered points. A 33-yard touchdown run by Micah Morris, and then Morris sets up a field goal with a 40-yard run from the 50 down to the 10. Ultimately, the field goal up and in for Fox Chapel. Return this time for Nazir Taylor for the Wolverines. He's going to run to the left-hand side, breaks 1 tackle. Now he's going to carry a Fox up across the 30 towards the 34-yard line. The ball came loose as the official drops the beanbag, and the Foxes come out of there with the football. Still a scrum for it, and coming out of the bottom of the pile with the ball for Fox Chapel is Timothy Johnston. And a turnover for Woody High, their 2nd of the game.
Just a case like earlier in the game where Mohina for Fox Chapel was fighting for extra yardage. Taylor kind of fought for extra yardage. He kind of stumbled, and then when he got his balance, he got hit from the side. And Johnston does come up with a fumble recovery. So the Foxes have scored twice in 3 minutes and 17 seconds, and looking to try to add on to that. They'll start at the Woodland Hills 35.
Power pistol. As Gizzo has Morris just a step to his left. And some movement on both sides of the line. We'll see who this goes
Prior to the
against.
snap, dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Well, when you're a tackle, this case left tackle Jesse Cohen, it's hard to hide that initial false start, when you're on the end of the line. But you throw into the mix that Cohen, the senior, is 6'5", 245. It's doubly hard to hide that. That cost the Foxes 5.
Ball carrier this time, Micah Morris, nowhere to go as he gets to the line of scrimmage and then driven back. Bunch of Wolverines there, including Barlow.
That's a good job by Barlow to get up there. I mentioned the gang tackling is key. And that time they got Morris. He has kind of broken a couple tackles on those long 2 runs. This time they did not allow the big man to get outside to the near side. equipment issue with Morris's chin strap.
We've had a couple of fumbles today by Woodland Hills and one by Fox Chapel. Now, Woodland Hills not able to take advantage of the Fox Chapel fumble. Let's see what the Foxes can do with this takeaway from Woody High. They weren't able to do anything with the first one early on. Gizzo off of play action, rolls to his right, throws to his right-hand side, and a leaping grab made over there on that far sideline, but he's not able to bring the feet down in bounds, is the receiver, Chase Delaney.
They try to throw it over there. Good pressure by Joshua Rawlings. Rawlings forced Gizzo to get rid of that too quick. I actually think it was Brown who tried to come over there. Couldn't get that toe in on the far sideline, so good defense by Woodland Hills to pressure Gizzo, and good defense on the far sideline to not allow an open catch for David Brown.
Yeah, it was Luke Brown, not Villani. And now Villani is out there as the tailback on 3rd down and 15. Clock stopped here with 7:48 to play in quarter number 2. Woodland Hills down by 3. The motion empty set. Gizzo going to take off running to the near side left, picks up a block. He's got the first down, and he's got good yardage inside of the 30 as Rodney Denard makes the stop just shy of the first down flag at around the 26-yard line. So a pickup of about 14. They needed 15, so it's 4th and 1.
Just a yard short. 7 carries now, 54 yards for Nick Gizzo. Very, very comfortable running that football. Woodland Hills had a man come up on the near end of the line of scrimmage, but a nice little chip block allowed Gizzo to get the left edge and pick up the 14.
7:37 to play here in the second quarter. Woodland Hills down by 3. Fox Chapel threatening on 4th and 1 here at the 26. Gizzo in the shotgun. He's going to hand off to Morris. Morris drives his way forward for the first down inside of the 25 to the 24. Now, it looked like there was a bit of an early surge by the right side of the offensive line, but no flags flew.
Be surprised if they handed it to number 36, 243. Anytime short yardage, I'd more than likely give it to him for Fox Chapel. He needed 1. He picked up 2. 5 first downs now for Fox Chapel in the first half.
Clock winds to 7:20 to play here in the second quarter. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist, Rick McIntyre down on the field on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. 2 receivers right, 1 to the near side left. Handoff, Morris. Driven back by the first wave of defenders, and then he'll be brought down about a yard deep in the backfield. Tyrell Barlow makes the stop. The initial pressure put in by DeJuan Howes.
Howes did a great job. He just blew the center up. He got into number 57, Seth Bowman, and pushed him right back into Micah Morris, and that allowed Barlow to come over and drop the big man for a loss of 1. But that's what you want to do. I've been impressed in the first 2+ games of this season by DeJuan Howes at 5'11" and 284.
Gizzo off of play action. Looks left the whole way, throws to the left-hand side, and the pass to the near boundary intended for Cole Waxter, incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd and a dozen, the ball at the 26-yard line. Fox Chapel with the ball here for the second consecutive time. Kicked a 26-yard field goal, then got the ball back after a fumble by Nazir Taylor on the kick return. They started this drive at the 35. They've moved it 9 yards thus far and face this 3rd and 12. Gizzo trying to run a wide receiver screen as the receiver from that right-hand side, Jacob Wecht, was cutting in towards the center of the field. The ball just caromed off of his sternum down to the turf, incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th and 12.
He took that fastball right between the 2 and the 4, did Wecht from Gizzo. Woodland Hills, you mentioned it was a screen, so there was a release on the line of scrimmage, and that sort of maybe threw off the angle on that pass, but Wecht should have had it nonetheless.
Gizzo straight drop back on 4th and 12. Feels some pressure. Still on his feet. Now he'll be wrapped. He's going to toss the football off, and it's caught by a Fox Chapel offensive lineman. Riley Michael will carry that one forward. Now the officials have to determine, was it a fumble or was it a forward pass? If it's a fumble, then it's just a fumble recovery and a run by the O-lineman. That will be the case because they'll say it's a turnover on downs. Woodland Hills ball, 1st and 10 around the 22.
Okay, think back, Adam. How many times did you get your hands on the football in your career?
Except playing center?
Except playing center.
Never. In fact, I dove for a a fumble in the end zone one time, and because Khalid Johnson was 6'3" and had longer arms than me, he got the touchdown, and my name didn't get to be in the paper.
So no fumble-rooskies in your career?
None. And as Michael Whitehurst goes to step under center, Tyrell Barlow moves early, and Woodland Hills is going to be pushed back.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So let's reset what we've seen thus far. Woodland Hills started with the ball, drove it all the way down to the Fox Chapel 24-yard line before a fumble by Rodney Denard. The Fox Chapel Foxes punted it back to Woody High. Woodland Hills then capped off a drive with a 27-yard touchdown by Jaquan Smith. Then a pair of TDs, or rather a TD and a field goal by Fox Chapel. And they lead Woodland Hills 10-7 as Rodney Denard, the ball carrier there, picks up about 7 out towards the 25-yard line, where it'll be. Now they'll reset the ball back towards the 23-yard line, so it'll be about 2nd and 9. So again, Woodland Hills allowed Fox Chapel to score on a 33-yard touchdown run by Micah Morris. The Wolverines punted it back to the Foxes in a 26-yard field goal. Made the score 10-7 as it stands now. Rodney Denard, the ball carrier, trying to run to the right-hand side. And he has nowhere to go as he's banged around and brought down. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
An extended look at Rodney Denard out of the eye as the tailback. I mentioned in the first 2 weeks he did a lot of jet sweep type action, but he's comfortable running the football. In that last game, when he picked up 6, not the 0, but the 6, he thought he should have broken a tackle at the end of that and had a lot more. 3rd and long for Woodland Hills as we approach 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Whitehurst under center. High backfield behind him as he'll go on the straight drop back. He's going to heave-ho this one down that far side. He's looking for Nazir Taylor. And I think Fox Chapel D-back Drew Witt is going to be flagged, mostly because he prevented Taylor from breaking towards the football. And it's regardless of where the ball is when you consider illegal contact in that scenario.
I'm leaning towards that too, but Taylor also had some good hand fighting, but we'll see if it goes against Fox Chapel.
On the previous play, we have pass interference on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty. The result of the penalty be 1st down.
Like we said, Bobby, in that particular situation, the ball really wasn't catchable by Nazir Taylor. Conversely, contact over there is not legal because it was that far down the field.
And a lot of fans, you can hear the Fox Chapel fans were not happy, thinking it's not catchable, but that's not the case in high school football. That rule only applies in the pros. And I'm not saying that Taylor, if he gets the in cut towards the hash mark, makes that catch at the 45 at it, but he certainly was prevented from trying to do that by Drew Witt.
High backfield behind Whitehurst. They're going to run a counter to the left-hand side, and Jaquan Smith, the ball carrier, crosses the 40 out towards the 41-yard line. Clock winding to 4:42 here in quarter number 2. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist on the call for you. Rick McIntyre down on the field. We'll hear from him momentarily as he's over there on that Woodland Hills sideline, see if he has any more information on Jeremiah Jones, who went off the field with an ankle injury.
Rick is dapperly attired tonight in his turquoise and black. Appropriate.
2nd and 7. Hand off to the fullback. Nowhere to go for Christopher Jones as he's brought down about a yard deep in the backfield. Now let's send it down to Rick McIntyre, who's over there on that Woodland Hills sideline. And Rick, have you heard anything else about Jeremiah Jones, Daniel Jones in that ankle?
Haven't heard anything back about Jones. He's not on the sidelines currently. One thing that I've noticed right now is something I never saw, I don't think you ever saw in our days playing Adam, is they've been pulling the tight end. And if you watch number 7, 17, they're getting around there and making some monster blocks up through the middle.
Yeah, I've noticed Eric Oliver coming around and pulling, and I'm sure you'd have loved that from your tight end spot back in the day.
I don't think they would have caught it when I was there.
Pass to that far boundary intended for Nazir Taylor is incomplete. Whitehurst's pass is too strong, and the punt unit will come on for Woodland Hills.
Coming in relief of Daniel Jones, Michael Whitehurst is 0 for 5 throwing the football. He'll stay out there to punt it. It's a case maybe of just zeroing in. He was looking to the far sideline all the way for Nazir Taylor. And Fox Chapel well aware of that. He tried to get it over the defender, but threw too tall for Taylor. Another punt for the Wolverines.
Snap high again, but this time Whitehurst able to gather it in, and booms a knuckler that will carry towards the 32-yard line, where it'll be fair caught by Gizzo. It'll be first down and 10 for Woodland Hills for Fox Chapel at that spot.
So think back to that last series after the fumble. Fox Chapel ran 8 plays and turned the ball over on downs. They could have very easily put some more points on that scoreboard. They had scored 10 unanswered. They still have scored 10 unanswered, but after the fumble and great field position, they started inside Woodland Hills territory to 35. Could have very easily made it 13-10 or 13-7 or 17-7. So give credit to the Woodland Hills defense on that last series.
Woodland Hills 1-1 on the year. Lost to Gateway here at the Wolverina 35-23 in week 0, and then beat Baldwin last week in their conference lid lifter 40-6 on the road. Next week, Woodland Hills takes on Penn Trafford in a non-conference matchup here in Turtle Creek. Gizzo pulls the ball out of the belly of Micah Morris and breaks free to that far sideline. Nazir Taylor can't pull down an ankle tackle, and Rodney Denard ultimately is going to have to chuck him out of bounds right near that first down flag.
I think he's going to pick up 11, which would give him 65 yards on the season. Breaking tackles, good job of deceit initially, and then patience. And you mentioned Taylor tried to go at his ankles on the far sideline. Actually give him a pickup of 10. And Gizzo came in with 171 yards and 38 carries, averaging over 4.5 yards a carry in the season. And he scored 3 touchdowns. That is another first down for the Foxes. Gizzo 8 carries, 64 yards in this contest so far. Looks pretty comfortable running the football, too. You can tell he's done it a lot the last 2 years.
Power pistol. Gizzo with 2 backs to his left, and he's going to hand off to Micah Morris, who spins and then is undercut in the open field. Tackle for the Wolverines made by Marcus Taylor. And a gain of about 2 brings up second down and 8 as the clock winds to 3 minutes here in quarter number 2. Woodland Hills down by 3.
It was a good job by Taylor to go low. He actually got a big piece of the right knee of Micah Morris and tripped him up as he came to the near side trying to get around the left edge.
Gizzo throws to the near side left. The pass is complete on the reception. Drew Witt. Witt is going to drive his way forward up towards the 50-yard line. They'll say his knee is down at the 48 where the tackle made by Sidney Summers, our State Senator Jay Costa player of the game from week 1.
Good job to read that because it was a quick screen, and Witt took that with a step to the quarterback, and that in momentum as he turned it upfield. Witt has the only 2 catches in this game. You see Summers coming from sort of an angle to make that tackle on Witt.
Morris going to keep this one running to the right-hand side. Gizzo tried to pull that ball out of his belly at the last moment to no avail. Gizzo not happy at all and actually complains to the sidelines that Morris held on to that football, and that's ultimately going to cost Fox Chapel a yard, number 1, and number 2. It's going to bring up fourth down.
He's complaining to Morris as well out there with his arms and his palms outstretched. And that's the read option. The quarterback has the right option. When he takes his hands off it, Morris is supposed to take it, not grab it off of Gizzo. That was Gizzo's point to both the sideline and to his backfield mate Morris.
95 seconds to play here, and the flag flies. I think Woodland Hills encroached the neutral zone.
I think it was Howells.
It's going to be close to a first down. We'll check in with Eric Oliver, our referee, to make sure.
Right to the snap, we have encroachment on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Resolve the penalty. First down.
We'll see how that plays out in the landscape of this drive for Fox Chapel.
Gizzo straight drop back. Looking left, throwing left, and the pass is intercepted. Jaquan Smith leaps up, pulls the ball away from a receiver for Fox Chapel, and the Wolverines have the ball with 1:22 to play in the second quarter.
I believe it was Witt, Drew Witt, the slant pattern on the near side, and a good read. There were 2 defenders there, and I had to wait a second because I didn't know if Smith kept that because Witt tried to get his arms around it, but Jaquan Smith, a nice job to pick up the INT. at the Woodland Hills 18-yard line. So consecutive drives, the Woodland Hills defense has done their job. They keep it just a 3-point game with the Foxes in the lead.
And a turnover on downs followed by an interception, and Woodland Hills has the ball here with 1:22 to play and 82 yards from pay dirt here in quarter number 2. Whitehurst under center. He's going to hand off. Jaquan Smith running left. He's got the first down and more as he crosses the 30 out towards the 32-yard line. A big pickup of 14 there for Jaquan Smith.
Why not? He gets the INT on the defensive side of the football. Why not stick it into the gut of number 10? They fake right, they go left on a little delayed counter. Good blocking, better running around the far end, and Christopher Jones made the block to allow Jaquan Smith to turn the corner on the far side of the field.
Chase Villani makes the tackle for Fox Chapel as the clock winds to just over a minute to play here in the second quarter. Woodland Hills with the ball at their own 32. Handoff, Smith running left, tries to reverse his field and will be wrapped and brought down deep in the backfield, down around the 25-yard line. And a big loss there for Woody High. Drew Witt on the tackle for Fox Chapel.
Yeah, Smith tried to make something out of nothing, and when he turned it back, he was forced back to the right. He was trying to come left, and when Kane turned around and went back to the right, Witt, the senior at 6'3", 175, wrapped him up nicely for a loss of about 5. Actually, it's more than that, 6.
Whitehurst under center. He's going to hand off. Running to the left-hand side is Rodney Denard. He'll dive towards the 40-yard line, shy of the first down marker with 10 seconds to play here. And Woodland Hills is asking for a timeout, and Coach Tim Bostard had asked for it a couple of times before
timeout.
Ultimately it was awarded.
Woodland Hills.
So clock stopped here. We'll take a break too. 10-7. Fox Chapel leads Woody High. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Whether you need a new website or want to improve your existing site, Web Landings can serve your needs. Web Landings provides professional, easy-to-maintain websites for businesses, organizations, and individuals. Discover more at weblandings.com and find out how editing your site can be as easy as using a word processor. Plus, we offer 1 year of free hosting for any website developed. Visit weblandings.com today.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
The official has asked for 3 seconds to be put back up on the clock. As Coach Tim Bostard actually was asking for the timeout with about 12 seconds to play, but they say 3 elapsed, so it'll be Woodland Hills ball at their own 40 with 9 seconds to go here. Whitehurst looking down the seam, and the pass is intercepted at the midfield stripe. On the INT is Luke Brown for Fox Chapel. He's down the near boundary. He picks up a block. He'll be chucked out of bounds at around the 3-yard line, but time expires, and Fox Chapel will not have an opportunity for an offensive play. So a big return there for Luke Brown on the INT, but
that'll be into the second half.
It means nothing because time expires.
That's a big tackle by Bullock because Brown had all intentions to get to the end zone in the loss last week against West Allegheny. Brown had an interception which led to a score, but then Bullock came over and drilled Luke Brown out of bounds at the 2, and that ends the first half of play.
Again, your halftime score, Fox Chapel 10, Woodland Hills 7. We are going to step away for about 30 seconds or so, and when we return, we'll talk about what happened in the first half right here on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
A-Boss Opticians on Braddock Avenue in Braddock is your one-stop optical shop. With hundreds of the latest frame styles and lenses, the skilled opticians at A-Boss will help select and fit the best eyewear option for you. Plus, A-Boss Opticians is the best eyewear repair facility in the area. No matter what your eyewear needs are, make A-Boss Opticians your opticians. Call A-Boss Opticians at 412-271-4424 or visit abossopticians.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back here in Turtle Creek, where Woodland Hills trails Fox Chapel 10-7. Both teams have had opportunities off of takeaways, but we only see 17 total points through the first 24 minutes of action. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist, Rick McIntyre on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. And Bobby, as we take a look through that first half, a fumble by Rodney Denard. Fox Chapel does not capitalize. The Wolverines take the punt. They score on a 27-yard touchdown run by Jaquan Smith. On the ensuing kickoff, a fumble by Mahina for Fox Chapel. The Wolverines not able to capitalize. They turn it over on downs. Fox Chapel takes the ball at their own 24-yard line, and they cap off the drive on a 33-yard touchdown run by Micah Morris. A punt by the Wolverines, and Fox Chapel drives the ball from their own 35-yard line deep into Woodland Hills territory. Then a field goal up and in for Andrew Jeffrey, and that made the score 10-7. A fumble on the ensuing kickoff by Nazir Taylor gave Fox Chapel the ball. They turned it over on downs. Woodland Hills got it back. They punted. An interception thrown by Fox Chapel, and that INT by Jaquan Smith gave Woodland Hills the ball at their own 18. They drove it out to their own 40, and then an interception thrown by Michael Whitehurst at the end of the half, returned all the way down towards the goal line before a tackle ultimately made by Anthony Bullock with time expiring. So back and forth we went through the first 24 minutes.
I think turnovers are a big factor. You nailed that, and I think the fact that both teams weren't able to capitalize on turnovers and great field position is another factor. Both squads, I think, have to be very happy with their defense because they tightened it up when they needed to. It could have been a different situation, especially on the Woodland Hills side of the football, Adam, because Fox Chapel had scored 10 unanswered points in a hurry and very nearly could have added more to that. Woodland Hills didn't do it, and we go into the break with just a 3-point deficit.
Let's send it down to the field where Rick McIntyre will join us. And Rick, first of all, gave us the information on the ankle injury for Daniel Jones. He obviously wasn't able to return. That's number one. And number two, what's the feeling on that Woodland Hills sideline where you've been pacing back and forth, especially considering Woodland Hills is down by 3 going into the break?
Yeah, shortly before the half, I was standing with the training staff of Woodland Hills. I was asking about Jones and about the ankle. I think right around the end of the first quarter, they took him in with the ankle naked. They got him on the ice. They're going to evaluate him at halftime. Really no word on whether he's going to come back or not. My guess would be that I don't think we're going to see him again today. Even if he's okay, I think he's going to be a little bit tender on that ankle. And as far as the attitude and the takeaway on the first half here, just the gist I'm getting from the coaching staff is it's a matter of splash plays right now. You guys hit all of them right now, the fumbles and the interceptions, a couple big breaks on some runs. Right now, Fox Chapel has a slight advantage, I think, on the splash plays. And then, the second half, they're going to look to contain defensively, stop number 36 from busting that holes up through the middle. And again, it's all about controlling the line of scrimmage for the Wolverines in the second half.
Thanks a lot, Rick. And again, your halftime score is Fox Chapel 10 and Woodland Hills 7. Folks watching our replays, we will be back with the Woodland Hills Football Network halftime show. If you're watching or listening live, you can enjoy both the Woodland Hills and Fox Chapel marching bands. And just a few moments, if you're listening on the MSA Sports Network, we'll have the MSA Sports halftime show. Again, your halftime score is 10-7, Fox Chapel leading Woodland Hills. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Listening to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Wolverine Football is also brought to you by the Triangle Barn Grill, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, Bush Brothers Car Care, the Barbers Inn in Swissvale, A-Boss Opticians, the Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club, Web Landings, and LG3 Entertainment. Now it's time for the Woodland Hills Football Network halftime show.
And we welcome you back to the Wolverine, where Woodland Hills trails Fox Chapel at halftime, 10-7. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist on the call for you up here in the booth down on the field. It's Rick McIntyre. And Bobby, we talked about it before the halftime break. Woodland Hills and Fox Chapel both certainly had their opportunities. However, a couple of splash plays by both teams, and other than that, we haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of offensive output by either club.
Micah Morris with a good first half, 84 yards and a touchdown for Fox Chapel. Rodney Denard led the way. Both he and Jaquan Smith had a good first half running the football for Woodland Hills, 60 yards, 52 yards respectively. I think the turnovers, although not leading to any points as you illustrated before we went to the halftime break, maybe kind of took the offenses out of the rhythm, not able to get anything going. The defenses have shown up, allowing a lot of rushing yardage, but making good plays when they had to. I think you need to clean it up. And maybe if Daniel Jones does not return for Woodland Hills, maybe you try to get Michael Whitehurst into the game more as a quarterback. Some safe passes, getting him into his rhythm. He was 0 for 5, 0 for 6 actually, with that late interception in the first half for Woodland Hills in relief of Daniel Jones.
Well, we are going to take a break here at halftime, and when we return, we'll get you set for the second half. Rick McIntyre will join us from the field with Woodland Hills head coach Tim Bostard, all of that and more as the halftime show rolls on. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com. The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Woodland Hills trails Fox Chapel by a score of 10-7 as we get set for quarter number 3 here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. Adam Gusky and Bob Orquist on the call for you here in the booth. Down on the field is Rick McIntyre, and momentarily he'll be joined by Woodland Hills head coach Tim Bostard. And we talked about it a good bit through the halftime thus far, Bobby. A lot of splash plays for both teams, though it's only led to 17 total points.
Well, we started this game with a big splash play. Rodney Denard on the first play from scrimmage took the ball 45 yards in the Fox Chapel territory, but didn't lead anything. It led to a fumble, and that's kind of the story of the first half, and you need to limit the splash plays. We talked about Micah Morris coming in to tonight's game being bottled up for Fox Chapel. That was not the case in the first half. A 33-yard touchdown run, also had a 40-yard run, but they limited him outside of that. So I think, again, both teams happy defensively, but offensively, maybe they need to go back to the drawing board.
Let's send it down to the field where Rick McIntyre is joined by Woodland Hills head coach Tim Bostard.
Hey, Coach, pretty exciting first half there. A lot of splash plays, a lot of excitement. What did you see in the first half? What did you focus on at halftime? What are you looking to do in the second half against Fox Chapel?
We're just looking to continue to pick up our blocks. We've got to get to the second level with the offensive line. Losing our quarterback hurts a little bit, but I think he's going to give it a go here, and we'll see what we got for the second half.
The number 6 is going to try to start in the third quarter?
He's going to give it a try.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Rick, and that'll do it for the halftime show. When we return, it'll be the second half here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Your halftime score, 10-7. Fox Chapel leads Woodland Hills here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Broadcast on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Games can be heard live and on demand on the MSA Sports Network. You can watch live on our Facebook page
Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, with locations in East Pittsburgh and Turtle Creek, is a member of the Hall of Excellence of the National Funeral Directors Association. This reflects the same pursuit of excellence by our Woodland Hills football team, cheerleaders, marching band, students, staff, and faculty. For over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home has been honored to serve local families and to be a proud partner of the Woodland Hills communities. Bush Brothers Car Care Center in Swissvale has been a Monongahela Avenue institution for nearly 30 years. Bush Brothers is a full-service mechanic and tire shop for all types of vehicles. Whether you need mechanical work, alignment, state inspection, emissions testing, new tires, or just an oil change, Bush Brothers is the place for you. Bush Brothers Car Care Center, Monongahela Avenue in Swissvale, or give Martin and Jason a call at 412-351-5342. There are few things that guys like more than a great haircut at a real barbershop. And at the Barbers Inn on Washington Avenue in Swissvale, you'll find both. Plus, you can relax in style on supple leather sofas while watching their big screen HD TV. You can even shoot some pool while you wait. But most importantly, you'll walk out the door with a haircut or shave you're sure to love. Walk-ins are always welcome at the Barbers Inn in Swissvale. For more information, call 412-271-7434. And remember, real men come to the Barbers Inn. Today's broadcast of Woodland Hills football is brought to you by the Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club. Since 1905, Rotary clubs across the globe have brought business and professional leaders together to provide humanitarian services, encourage high ethical standards in all vocations, and to advance goodwill and peace around the world. The Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club meets every Friday at noon at Shelley Pie. Rotary, service above self.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
And we're underway here in quarter number 3 as a kickoff return for Fox Chapel's Cole Waxter brings it all the way back to the Woodland Hills 44-yard line. Chucky Hanchin involved on the tackle there, but certainly another inauspicious start to a half for the Wolverines.
Well, that's a real good thing that Hanchin stayed back there, because that's a pretty good return, and I thought Waxter had a chance to take it the distance. Nonetheless, a big 46-yard return as Fox Chapel starting this third quarter in Woodland Hills territory.
Gizzo, the ball carrier, running to the left-hand side. Nice downfield blocks for Fox Chapel, allowing Gizzo to pick up enough for the first down on the gain of 11, where Sidney Summers makes the tackle for Woodland Hills. And a flag comes in after the play, and now a hat will fly.
Second flag with that hat?
Yes. It's when the official has one flag in his pocket and he throws his hat, that means he's thrown two in the same play. And we will check in here with our referee, Eric T. Hall, to see what this call is.
We have dead ball, unsportsmanlike, on Fox Chapel. We also have personal foul on Fox Chapel. They both will be assessed.
So ultimately, that will be 30 yards of penalties, Bobbio.
That'll certainly wipe out the 11-yard run by Gizzo. There was a little extracurricular at the end of that on the blocking situation. It didn't see what would happen, but that's you got to know when to pull off 30 yards of penalties. Fox Chapel, as far as this game, had 5 penalties for 45 yards in the first half. Now they start off with 30 yards of penalties here on the first play from scrimmage in the third quarter. So dead ball. That should make it a 1st and 40.
On the previous play.
If I got my math right.
Personal foul on the receiving team. We have personal foul for Fox Chapel. Both of them assessed. It'll be 1st and 10.
So again, Eric T. Hall, our referee, runs through the penalties, and ultimately it'll be Fox Chapel ball way back at the 37-yard line.
No, they shouldn't be moving the sticks.
Not at all. Because that was the first offensive play. not on the kick return.
Plus on the dead ball, too. So
correct.
Now there's confusion on the far side as far as that goes.
Now, all I saw, Bobby, was a blocker downfield for Fox Chapel engaged with Rodney Denard. There was a bit of a shove after the play, and now they're going to move the sticks, and I can't fathom why. And head coach Tim Bostard wants to find out why.
Rodney Denard also has his hands up, and that's correct, I think. If it's a dead ball, it comes after the play, so it should at least be 25 yards.
And they're going to run the reverse, are the Fox Chapel Foxes. And to the near side come the Foxes with the ball. Cole Waxter. Waxter will be brought down after picking up the first down out towards the 49-yard line, but a flag comes in. And the Foxes may have been guilty of a hold. There was a face mask in there as well against Woodland Hills, but we'll have to see what the officials saw. And it's going to be against Fox Chapel.
So 40 yards of penalties, not the way you want to start the second half of Fox Chapel.
On the previous play, we have holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
I, like you, thought that Summers might have gotten a horse collar or a little bit of the face mask as Waxter came on the end around to the near side. There was the whole downfield right there.
And what I had seen initially was Howells get the hand on the face of the player coming around on the end around, but regardless, right now it's 1st and 20 with the ball back at the 28. Still trying to figure out, though, why it's 1st and 20 and not 1st and 10 miles. Gizzo's going to hand off to Morris, who's going to get to the line of scrimmage, and not much further as Sidney Summers makes the tackle.
Summers got underneath, Oliver over top to drop Morris down there. We've seen him break a couple of those runs in the first half. But after he had that 40-yarder, which followed his 33-yard touchdown run, Woodland Hills has done a much better job of securing Micah Morris, excuse me.
Fox Chapel's had the ball for about 1 minute and 20 seconds here as Gizzo throws to his left-hand side. The pass may have been tipped by a Woodland Hills D lineman and then through the hands of the intended receiver, Jacob Wecht. And the incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 18.
Just 2 of 9 throwing the football for Nick Gizzo for 19 yards. He's had a couple of good games. He threw for 145 yards and also ran for 100 in their Week 0 game against Mount Lebanon. Gizzo had 66 yards rushing last week, 69 yards passing against West Allegheny. Tonight he's run the football well, just hasn't thrown it that great.
So receivers stacked on either side. Gizzo in the shotgun with Morris to his right-hand side on 3rd and 18. Hard count by Gizzo as he looks to the right-hand side. He's pressured, stepping forward. Now he's going to be undercut, brought down. Big defensive play by Anthony Bullock. Big sack there by Bullock, and Bullock had a huge tackle on offense, if you will, at the end of half number 1. He basically saved a touchdown after the interception by Luke Brown.
Indeed he did. First sack of the game. I got to give credit, though, to Joshua Rawlings. He kind of forced Gizzo to step up, and then Bullock came in. Bullock has been really good defensively, by the way. Gets the big sack and forces this punt situation for Fox Chapel.
Gavin Yarber, rather Raymond Tarsi on to punt it away for Fox Chapel. And a knuckling punt will take a neutral bounce at around the 49-yard line, then start to roll in favor of the Wolverines. So Fox Chapel will down it, and Woodland Hills will take this ball at the Fox Chapel 49-yard line. Now there's a flag down in the backfield, and we will have to check in with our referee to see what this was. And we've played 3 weeks of football thus far, Bobby, and there's been a surprising amount of infractions in this game.
There's no question. This is almost like Week 1 flag amount.
We got running into the kicker. That penalty will be declined. First down.
Because running in, either way, running in a roughing would have not picked up the first down for Fox Chapel, but just the 5-yard variety. Woodland Hills came very close to blocking that, and they kind of nicked Tarasi, the punter. So good field position. Let's see if Daniel Jones is wrapped up, taped up, and ready to get the offense moving here in the second half for Woodland Hills.
Kind of surprised with this starting at the Fox Chapel side of the field.
It's Whitehurst in a quarterback.
Yeah. Kind of shocked that with Woodland Hills starting on this side of the field that they didn't try to punt again, but Woodland Hills return men are so dangerous It's kind of a double-edged sword. So like you say, Whitehurst will start the second half at QB. He'll hand off Rodney Denard. Trying to bounce left. Now he'll cut it back right. Driving his way forward. That'll be pulled back by a handful of Fox Chapel Foxes. Leading the way, Micah Morris for Fox Chapel. A gain of a couple for Rodney Denard, who had about 64 yards in half number one.
Yeah, and had that big 45-yard run. I was hoping to start the second half as he started the first half to give Woodland Hills good field position, give him 2, and he's dangerous enough when he tried to cut it back to the near side to take it the distance.
A Fox Chapel player is injured, and the officials have asked for the clock to stop.
It's actually Luke Brown who's down on the field for the Foxes.
1-9.
So after the play ended, a Fox Chapel player shaken up. Then we'll ask for the clock to be reset to about 9:19. And it'll bring up second down and 8 after the Fox Chapel player is tended to. He's to his feet and making his way over here to the near sideline. Again, Fox Chapel, they wear their road white jerseys, red numerals, black trim, black pants with black helmets. West Allegheny right now atop the Allegheny 9 Conference. Woodland Hills also undefeated, as is Hampton and Upper St. Clair.
Apparently good to be one of the W schools. West Allegheny #1 as far as MSA in the 5A. Woodland Hills in the top 10 as well. Upper St. Clair is in there too.
Handoff, Denard straight up the gut. He'll drive his way inside of the 45, pushing his way towards around the 42-yard line before being brought down by a couple of Fox Chapel players.
I like Denard as a power runner. There are bigger runners in the backfield, but when he is just running straight, getting the shoulder square, east-west, if you will, at 6'1" and 182, I think he's pretty effective doing that. I'd like to see more of that. And we've seen him dot the I. He's been most of this game the featured tailback for Woodland Hills.
Eye behind Whitehurst, and a flag flies, and I think that Fox Chapel may have encroached the neutral zone prior to the ball being snapped, and if that's the case, it's going to be first down for Woody High.
That's why they were able to swarm over Denard. I don't believe that's the third time they're called for defensive encroachment in this game.
We have dead ball encroachment on the defense. Resolve the penalty. First down.
So after the penalty, it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills with the football at the Fox Chapel 37-yard line. Woodland Hills trailing Fox Chapel by 3 right now, 10-7 with 8:28 as clock winds here in quarter number 3. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist on the call for you. Rick McIntyre down at field level. 2 receivers right, 2 to the far boundary left. And again, Fox Chapel encroaches the neutral zone. This time it's Micah Morris, who was coming on a blitz from his left outside linebacker position, and he was basically in the backfield before the ball was snapped.
Dead ball encroachment on the defense at the 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
And again, Bobby, we've talked about it a couple times already. So many flags for being the third week of football.
50 yards of penalties against Fox Chapel in this third quarter. We've only played 3.5, almost 3:45. So just really, really sloppy work. You throw into the fact that there were 5 turnovers combined in the first half as well. And you would think it would be week 0 instead of the third week of the season.
Send it back down to the field. Woodland Hills facing a 1st down and 5 with the football at the 32-yard line. 2 receivers split to either side. Whitehurst is in the shotgun with a sidecar to his left and Christopher Jones. Whitehurst looking right, throwing right, the pass complete inside of the 20 to the 18-yard line. Leaping up and making the grab for the Wolverines is Davion Rochelle.
That's a good pass and a nice catch by Davion Rochelle. 6'1", 166, just a freshman, mind you. A nice little slant pattern on the inside. First time that Whitehurst was not ruling out. He dropped back out of the shotgun. 3 steps, fired it to Rochelle, who made the catch right in front of the defensive back.
So 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills inside of the Fox Chapel red zone. High backfield behind Whitehurst. He'll hand off. Denard has a crease. He's inside of the 15, and he'll be yanked down around that 15-yard line. Down at the bottom of the pile for Fox Chapel is a D lineman.
I think Michael Whitehurst's got to be really happy. He was 0 for 6 with an interception in the first half. Gets his first completion. Good tackle by Riley Michael, who was all-conference last year. Nice returning two-way lineman at 6 foot 215 for Fox Chapel.
Clock winding under 7 minutes to play here in the third frame. Woodland Hills down 3. Ball 2nd and 7 at the 15. One receiver split to either side, tight end to the right. Whitehurst with an high backfield behind him. Whitehurst straight drop back, looking left, throwing left, and the pass is intended for the receiver coming across the middle from the left-hand side. Again, that's Davion Rochelle, the intended receiver. And the incomplete pass brings up 3rd and 7.
Little post pattern, a lot of zip on that pass from Michael Whitehurst. 2 passes in the first half, rolling out a lot. This time he got another drop back, and again it was Rochelle. So good confidence in the freshman. But that's just a little too tall, too high, and too hard from Whitehurst on that post pattern.
So 3rd and 7, ball at the 15. Clock stopped. Whitehurst under center. One receiver to the right. Oliver Krabs from left to right. Check that. That is Jones. Handoff. Denard running left. He's got the first down. He's inside of the 5. He's out of bounds on the far boundary. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Wolverines at the 4.
Good speed and good job, great vision by Denard to bounce that out around the left edge. There was a Wolverine out there to seal the edge, but he didn't actually block the Fox Chapel player on the end. Fox Chapel was thinking that it might have been a block from behind, but Denard was able to bounce it to the outside. First of all, good block on the inside by Tyrell Barlow. And there was the player right there. There was no contact from that Woodland Hills player. 1st and goal for Woodland Hills.
Whitehurst will step under center, double tight end formation, high backfield behind him, one receiver to the right. Whitehurst hands off, Denard bouncing left. He's into the end zone for a 4-yard Woodland Hills touchdown, and the Wolverines reclaim the lead.
Nice job on the drive by Woodland Hills, aided by a couple of encroachment penalties by Fox Chapel, but for Rodney Denard, a nice run, and again, a good job to cut to open space to the far side, to the left side, and for Rodney Denard, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season, and Woodland Hills is back on top at 13-10.
And the PAT by Chucky Hanchett is up and in, and with 6:27 to play in the third quarter, Woodland Hills has taken a 4-point lead, 14-10 over the Fox Chapel Foxes. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back in Turtle Creek, where Woodland Hills leads Fox Chapel 14-10, first score since early in quarter number 1 for the Wolverines, as they lead the Fox Chapel Foxes 14-10. After the PAT by Chucky Hanchett went up and in, a roughing the snapper call goes against the Foxes, so Hanchett, instead of kicking off from his own 40, will kick off from the Fox Chapel 45. So another infraction against the Foxes is going to allow Hanchett to try to boom this one all the way down, maybe through the goalposts.
Kickers love that opportunity.
And Hanchett, a low bouncing kick that will actually be picked up at the 1-yard line by a return man for Fox Chapel, who squeaked free for a moment but then was brought down by Marcus Taylor for the Wolverines. The return man, Cole Waxter, finally brought down after a decent return of 17 yards. And quite frankly, Bobby, he may have been well served to let that ball bounce into the end zone. It would have been a couple more yards for his Foxes.
Just trying to do that. I'm surprised, too. They kicked to the end zone. Looks like we have a cramp situation for one of the Woodland Hills players. By the way, 65 yards in penalties against Fox Chapel, and we're not even, just in this quarter, We're not even halfway through the third quarter. I think it's Sydney Summers.
Yeah, that appears to be the case. Our State Senator Jay Costa, player of the game from week number 1. Sydney Summers has played spectacularly from his inside linebacker position this year for Woodland Hills. We could see it last year, Bobby, that really Sydney was going to be a special player as he matured.
You like to slide into that. Middle linebacker is generally your captain on defense and required to make calls and make a lot of tackles. We saw it in the week 0 game against Gateway where he was our player of the game, and he's out there again on special teams, but a cramp. Now, we think it's cold up here. I was thinking today, nice to have heat acclimation this year because you haven't really needed it, but it's comfortable for us up here in the press box. For those players down there always have cramp situations. They're actually stretching out both of Sydney Summers' calves as he's down at the 20-yard line.
Let's send it down to the sideline where Rick McIntyre will join us. Rick, talk about what you saw from field level on that most recent drive by the Wolverines. Some good running there for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Ronnie Denard on the play right before the touchdown made an incredible bounce to the outside, dropped his hips, did everything that he's coached to do by the great staff here at Woodland Hills, made a fantastic athletic move to get to the outside, picked it up, set it up for the end for the touchdown in the ensuing play. Just as a clarification, I don't know if you guys caught it or not, the big double penalty starting off the second half. I didn't catch the number from Fox Chapel, but he made a nice block on number 30, Marcus Taylor, had him on the ground, the whistle blew, he kept pummeling him into the ground, and actually Taylor rolled his ankle in the process and came off the field and had the boot off and was getting taped up and looked at, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well.
Rick, you anticipated, and so did Tim Boster, that Jeremiah Jones would return to the line, or rather Daniel Jones would return to the lineup. However, we haven't seen him yet. Whitehurst got the start here in the third quarter.
Yeah, as soon as we got onto the field, Coach Denny Damick, ODC here, walking Sydney Summers off the field, made the call right before they went out on the field and said he's out. So it's going to be number 12 for the rest of the night.
And I thought that Whitehurst, at least from our vantage point, has settled in nicely here in the third quarter, kind of contrary to the way he looked through the first two quarters.
Absolutely, and something I think we spoke about at halftime. We wanted to see him maybe take a little more of the quick hits, the three-step drop, hit the man, hit him right away, a couple nice easy throws, get his confidence under him, and I think it's going to go that way.
And Gizzo, the quarterback, hands off to the tailback, Micah Morris, who races down the left seam and will pick up big yardage there for the Fox Chapel Foxes all the way out to the 39-yard line. This is obviously something I didn't want to touch on this season, but I've mentioned his name a couple of times, and I feel at this point it's kind of something obligatory. I've mentioned Jeremiah Jones a couple of times, and sadly he was killed a few weeks back, and the Pittsburgh area Crime Stoppers are asking for any information you may have leading to the arrest of who may be responsible for his death. So if you have any information and you're watching this broadcast, please reach out and do what you can to try to catch who ended the life prematurely of a former Woodland Hills Wolverine and a very nice young man. Flags fly as Micah Morris is the ball carrier, and he is brought down after a gain of about 5.
I think this one's going to go against Woodland Hills. Maybe head contact on the end of that tackle.
Check in with our referee and see what
previous play. We have personal foul, targeting on the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
14 carries, 114 yards now from Micah Morris. So targeting at the end of that play. That has become the vogue call in college football. And he got up underneath the face mask, actually knocked Morris's helmet off. He has to come out for a play after that pickup of 5, and then the ensuing 15 against the Wolverines.
Power pistol. Gizzo, he's going to hand off to Chase Villani, and Villani's going to drive his way forward inside of the 40 to the 38-yard line. A gain of about 2, and that'll bring up second down and 8.
Eric Oliver makes the tackle. Villani's done a good job filling in. Morris as his understudy throughout the first couple of weeks, but tonight's been Micah Morris's best game of 2017. He has the only Fox Chapel touchdown as Woodland Hills leads 14-10 as we approach the 5-minute mark here in quarter number 3.
Hand off. Micah Morris driving his way forward. He's got the first down and much, much more, just barreling through Wolverines. Still on his feet. Finally, his forward progress is stopped around the 25 before being driven back. And I'll tell you what, he is a load to bring down.
No question about it. And he's brought the attitude with him tonight, running hard, high knees. And we've said this several times, 6'2", 243, big bruising running back. I'm trying to jog my memory. There was a big running back at war number 36 around these parts who did some good things.
Yeah, Jerome something or
the
other.
Bettis, the boss.
Yes.
Yeah, Morris reminds me a lot of Jerome Bettis.
And the handoff this time goes to the big tailback, Chase Villani. And another big fella back there picking up positive yardage for Fox Chapel. This time a gain of about 9, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
6'3", 203 for Chase Villani. So he does bring in some pretty good size, but Fox Chapel finding out that when you're not committing penalties, you can actually do some good things. They had 65 yards of penalties in this quarter. They have 110 in the game, but the penalty against Woodland Hills was big in this drive, and the Foxes are on the move.
Clock winding to 4:11 to play here in the third quarter as the Foxes go to the air, and the pass complete on the crossing route coming from left to right was Drew Witt, and Witt is brought down after a first down, and it'll be 1st and goal with the ball at the 8-yard line.
3 completions for Nick Gizzo, all 3 to Drew Witt. At 6'3", 175, 28 yards on the day, on the night in catches.
Hand off, Micah Morris running to the left-hand side. He'll get to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a yard before a massive humanity brings him down. And the initial face mask to face mask contact stood up Micah Morris, and it almost seemed like that was something he wasn't accustomed to.
No, I was thinking he's not shy of avoiding contact, but I'm quite sure he doesn't get stood up a lot, and was a good tackle. The key is, and he's pretty tall for his weight at 6'2". You got to get your pads underneath his pads. That's what happened there. It's a pickup of 1 to the 7.
2nd and goal at the 7. Gizzo drops the football. Now he's going to have to pick it up, run to his right-hand side. He'll be hit. He'll be lifted. Then he'll be brought down to the turf around the 10-yard line. A loss of 3. And a big defensive play there by a Woodland Hills D-back over on that far sideline. Michael Coleman makes the play for Woody High.
Yeah, good job by Coleman, and that play was the timing blown up, I think, a little bit with that ball being on the turf. There was just 1 blocker and 3 defenders. Bullock was chasing, and Michael Coleman with the 2-point takedown on the tackle. Give it the 9, so it's a loss of 2. 3rd and goal from there for Fox Chapel.
Gizzo, shotgun, rolling left. Now going to step forward. Now going to roll to his left-hand side again. He's going to run to the pylon, and they'll say he spun out of bounds around the 1-yard line. It initially looked like Gizzo was going to pull up and throw, and then decided to tuck and run. And it'll be a pickup of about 7, and it's 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line.
I think you're absolutely correct. He looked to throw, but good defense on the defensive backfield side, and then the Foxes did a good job of realizing that Gizzo was tucking it under, and they turned from receivers to blockers, which allowed Gizzo to take that ball to the 1-yard line. 4th and goal at the 1 for Fox Chapel.
2:37 to play here in quarter number 3. 4th and goal. Hand off, Morris. And he is brought down shy of the goal line. Woodland Hills with a goal line stand. It's a turnover on downs. Woody High with the football. Michael Roman makes the stop.
Michael Roman got underneath the big man Morris before he could do anything. Trying to come left, took it up the middle and cut to his left, and Roman just underneath. That's what you got to do. You take the pins out of the runner, especially a big one like Morris. Textbook tackle right there for Michael Roman.
Great job by Michael Roman. Problem is, Woodland Hills is 99 yards from pay dirt, but the good news is they keep the Foxes off of the scoreboard. An injured Wolverine, parenthetically, and I believe that's Michael Roman, who kind of got folded by Micah Morris, but he's to his feet, and he'll head to the sideline as a few smiles from the athletic training staff. Michael Roman to the sideline after making a fantastic defensive play.
He's feeling that, and that's what happens when you're 171 and you put a big hit on a 243-pound ball carrier, but Roman will take it. He'll get some kudos when that film is watched, absolutely. You made the key, though. They're 99 yards away from the one end zone, but the important thing is they keep the 4-point lead on the big goal line stop. It was 1st and goal for Fox Chapel from the 8, and they got Gizzo with a tackle for loss, and then Gizzo had the big run to the 1, but they stop Morris and they take the ball over on downs.
2:33 to play here in quarter number 3. Woodland Hills leading Fox Chapel 14-10. 1st and 10 for the Wolverines, the ball at their own 1. Whitehurst under center. He'll hand off on the counter. Denard running left. He'll get out to the 2 for a gain of 1 and no further.
A little bit surprised they handed off to Denard. I thought Whitehurst would, there was room up the middle too. I thought Whitehurst would just go under center and take that and just fall forward for 2 or 3 yards to give them some breathing room. Denard has done a good job running the football, now 86 yards, but that's when you're going lateral, that gives the defense some time, and you think a lot of times safety zone and safety mode there because you're at your own 1.
Whitehurst under center. He'll hand off. Ronnie Denard running to the left-hand side. He'll push his way out to the 5 for a gain of about 3, and that'll bring up 3rd down and about 6.
That's just great individual effort because I think it was David Brown, or Luke Brown, excuse me, who got a good piece of Denard, and Denard was able to use his leg drive to spin that ball out to the 5-yard line.
So 3rd down and 6. The ball at the 5. Double tight end formation. 1 receiver left as Whitehurst steps under center. 1 back set. Whitehurst pumps, throws, looking for Nazir Taylor. He'll leap. The pass is incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down and 6.
Pair of number 1s, it was Hoover and Taylor on that far sideline. They're having some words, and Taylor's contention is that Hoover got his hand into his jersey over there on the far sideline, but that's not a bad play. Actually, it wasn't Hoover. Hoover came over late. It was initially on the coverage Drew Witt. So good coverage, another incompletion, and Woodland Hills has to kick this ball from their own end zone.
And Michael Whitehurst standing precariously close to the end line here to receive this punt snap, and the snap goes high and out of bounds, and a safety. And for the 3rd week in a row, we see a safety. However, for the first time this season, the Wolverines aren't the beneficiary of the safety. Instead, the Wolverines' opponent is, as Fox Chapel stretches the scoreboard for the first time here in the second half. It's 14-12, Woody High, and the Foxes get the ball back.
We saw Woodland Hills benefit from that against Gateway, but you mentioned it last week. It was a block punt in the end zone that credited the safety. You said it right before the snap. We saw a snap go over Whitehurst's head earlier in the game, Adam, but you said precariously perched at the back of the end zone. And there was another snap where Whitehurst earlier in the first half had to go up and get the football too. So I think that's something that Tim Bostard and his coaching staff and the special team staff will look at in film and in practice next week.
Let's send it down to field level. Rick McIntyre, tell us what you saw on that final play of the Foxes' previous drive where Micah Morris was undercut down there on the goal line.
Yeah, again, I apologize. I left my rosters by the triangle hoagies in the press box at halftime again.
It's okay. Michael Roman was the one that made the defensive stop.
Is that number 50?
No, 11 was.
If you watch the film, number 50 came up and laid a nice lick on him, nice and low. That's what cut him down, and Roman came in and cleaned it up.
Yeah, Roman was underneath. I think Thomas was the 150 who was up high, and it was a big hit. Yeah, it was a fantastic play. And, Rick, I didn't know if you were able to see that one. Conversely, talk about what you saw offensively there from Woodland Hills with their backs up against it.
Obviously, fairly conservative there. Made a nice effort there with the down and go for Whitehurst. Just couldn't complete it.
Here comes the return for the Fox Chapel Foxes, and off to the races goes Cole Waxter. He's been off to the races a couple of times today, and again Waxter will pick up big yardage for Fox Chapel. Finally brought down inside of the Woodland Hills 5 at the 3-yard line. Big play after big play after big play today. This one may be negated as there's a flag down on the field, but we have seen just so many big plays by both of these teams today, and they've only led to 26 total points.
On the previous play, we have personal foul, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So a personal foul against Fox Chapel from the Woodland Hills 42. So instead of Fox Chapel taking the ball inside of the Woodland Hills 5, instead it's going to be Fox's ball inside of their own end of the field. Boy, that's tough to take if you're a Fox Chapel Fox. Boy, they committed a significant amount of penalties today, including this one that'll march them back from basically which would have been first and goal from around the 3 to first down and 10 from the 43-yard line.
Well, it's almost it's a 15-yard penalty, which gives them 80 yards of penalties in this quarter, but really it's 50-plus yards because you're looking at first and goal from the 3, so that totally changes the complexion of this drive.
Ball at the 43. First and 10 for Fox Chapel. Gizzo looking left, throwing left. The pass in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Drew Witt. He had it right in his mitts and just dropped it on the carpet.
Yeah, that's one he'd like to have back. Gives Woodland Hills a chance to reset. We've seen that pass. That's just a simple down and in. Slant pattern, post pattern from Witt. It's been successful. That time he just dropped it.
Handoff. Micah Morris running to the left-hand side, has a crease, bursts through that crease, and he's undercut. Tackle made by Anthony Bullock, and that'll bring up third and a very manageable 2.
It's a good tackle. You talked about the splash space. You made a great point when you were recapping that because we have all these big plays, yet we only have 26 points, as you mentioned. You'd think with all these big plays that you would get more points on the board.
Handoff. Morris hesitating as he runs to the left. He's wrapped. He is brought down. Caleb Brevard making the stop at the line of scrimmage. A big tackle there by Brevard.
And Morris came left and he tried to hesitate to come to the outside. Brevard just stood him up at 6 foot 201, the junior. That's a nice tackle. You don't really want to go high, but Brevard did a good job. Help from the inside as well. I want to say it was Howells, or it might have been Thomas from the inside. They stymie Morris, and that ends the quarter.
That is the final play of quarter number 3. We will head to the fourth quarter with Woodland Hills holding a 2-point lead over Fox Chapel, 14-12. You're tuned to the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Yep.
Back at the Wolverine, where Woodland Hills leads Fox Chapel by a very narrow margin, 14-12. We have seen 9 points scored here in the second half. A 4-yard touchdown run by Rodney Denard with a PAT by Chucky Hanchett. And then Fox Chapel scoring on a safety on a bad punt snap by the Wolverines. The ball sailing over the head of the punter, Michael Whitehurst. And that allowed Fox Chapel to get the ball back after the safety. That's where they have it now, 4th down and 2, just inside of Woodland Hills territory. Gizzo, he's going to run to the right. He's going to drive his way to the line of scrimmage. He'll maybe pick up a yard, but no further. And again, the Woodland Hills defense holds strong, forcing another turnover on downs.
Well, that's a big stop. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 times that Fox Chapel's turned the ball over on downs. 2 in a row by that Woodland Hills defense, and that's a great stop right near midfield. You got to go back. That personal foul penalty big on that drive. That flipped the field position, and Woodland Hills comes up with a big stop. They take over at their own 48.
So great field position here for Woodland Hills. And at this point, Bobby, how big was that stop by Woodland Hills on 4th and goal at the 1?
It's huge. There are several huge plays. That stop, the Bullock tackle on the Brown interception before half, too, is another huge play. But no doubt that defensive stand at 4th and goal for the 1 is huge. Now you want to piggyback that with this offensive series as Jaquan Smith gets the carry to start this possession.
Smith, who got things rolling for Woodland Hills to start this football game with a 27-yard touchdown run straight up the gut. First TD of the affair. 2nd and 6 for Woody High. With the football at the Fox Chapel 48-yard line. Whitehurst under center. High backfield behind him. Counter. And the tailback had nowhere to go there as his jersey was grabbed. He tried to retreat and get out of there. And instead of a loss of about 5, maybe it'll be a loss of about 3 instead.
I think initially Jaquan Smith and Michael Whitehurst ran into each other, which threw the initial timing off, and there was good penetration up the middle by Adam Wu. And Smith was able to roll off of that. And you made a good point. Actually, he loses 4. It could have been a loss of about 7.
Yeah, it looked like his forward progress had gotten back to around the 49. The official says no way. Instead, it'll be 3rd and 10. Ball at the 48. Whitehurst in the shotgun. Sidecars to either side. 2 receivers to the near side left. Tight end to the right of the formation. Whitehurst retreating, running to the near side. Southpaw throws it to the near boundary, incomplete. And that was the smart play.
No doubt.
As all the Wolverines were covered, and Whitehurst just kind of threw it in the dirt in the vicinity of a receiver, and he'll punt it away instead.
Sometimes it's really hard to make that decision, make that play. A lot of guys want to try to force it in there, and Whitehurst, he had pressure from the get-go. So quick was the pressure put on him by Luke Brown that I thought it might have been a screen pass, but Whitehurst, as he rolled to the near side, Taylor was not open. He just threw it away, and that's a smart decision. He'll get back to punt. Now you hope the snap is good. We've had some problems with this for Woodland Hills in this contest.
Better snap this time. Whitehurst boots it away. It'll be fair caught by Fox Chapel. Catch made around the 30-yard line. And Fox Chapel 70 yards away from reclaiming the lead in this football game. But we have seen some crazy events here today, including, like you said, Bobby, a handful of turnover on downs forced by the Woodland Hills defense.
Well, the defense has to come up again with a big stop, but they've done a great job of limiting. We've had Micah Morris run for 136 yards. Nick Gizzo is over 60, close to 70 yards rushing. So they've given up a lot of yards that way, but they've tightened when they needed to. Fox Chapel has not helped their own cause with penalties, especially in this second half, and both teams have not helped their cause offensively with turnovers. We've had none of those. If you exclude the punt snap, which led to the safety in this second half, we had 5 combined in the first 24 minutes.
Power pistol again. Handoff. Morris running right. And he'll be hit and brought down. A flag comes in the backfield. I think this may go against the Foxes. It's a nice open field tackle by Dewan Howes. And we'll check in with our referee.
On the previous play, we have holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
That's 90 yards in penalties in this half and 135 in the game.
That's absolutely incredible. And add to that penalty on the free kick basically negated the vast majority of a great kickoff return by Cole Waxter. First and 20 for Fox Chapel. Gizzo, pass, near side, it's tipped. Jaquan Smith picks it off after the tip. He'll break free. He'll cross the goal line for a pick 6, and Woodland Hills has opened up a big lead.
Well, great job. That's why you practice the tip drill by Jaquan Smith on the near sideline. I thought he was going to be brought down with a unique shirt tackle. It was his undershirt that was grabbed onto by the Fox Chapel player, but he was able to break off of that and regain his balance, and he goes in down the near sideline. His second interception of the game. This one, a 17-yard pick 6 for Jaquan Smith. His second touchdown. Denard got in there and actually separated the defender from Smith's shirt and Smith takes it to the house, and Woodland Hills leads 20-12.
Like you said, the tip drill is what leads to that. That's the concentration by Jaquan Smith, leading to an 8-point lead. And Chucky Hanchett makes it a 9-point advantage with 9:51 to play in quarter number 4. Woodland Hills has the palindromic lead on the Fox Chapel Foxes, 21-12. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Waxter at the 11-yard line. Waxter out
Back at the Wolverina, where Cole Waxter has the return for Fox Chapel out to the 35-yard line after Chucky Hanchett's kickoff. Chucky Hanchett's PAT moments ago led to a 21-12 lead, and that PAT followed a pick six by Jaquan Smith. The ball caromed off of the face mask of a Fox Chapel receiver. It was Andrew Jeffrey who was the intended receiver. The ball caromed off of his cage. It was intercepted by Jaquan Smith. He was able to rip his way out of a tackle and into the end zone for a Woody High TD. Gizzo in the shotgun, rolling right, pressured, dumps it off near boundary, and the pass is complete to Jacob Wecht, and he pays the price as he catches that football. He's shouldered to the turf at the 41-yard line.
His first catch of the game goes for 6. Sometimes you got to take a hit to make the play. By the way, kudos to you, partner. I'm going to have to go a long way to ever top the palindromic lead of 21-12.
You like that?
Very impressive.
So Fox Chapel with the ball, 2nd down and 4 at their own 41-yard line. Micah Morris breaks free as he runs to the left-hand side. He's got the 1st down and more for Fox Chapel across the 50-yard line and into Woodland Hills territory at the 48.
Morris over midfield.
11 more for Micah Morris. That was a little scary, too. We saw him with those 2 big runs, including a 33-yard touchdown run in the first half when he broke a tackle and got open around the left end on that sweep. There was a lot of room over there. Woodland Hills did a good job to come up and close. He does, though, pick up the 11 yards and gets into Woodland Hills territory.
Hand off again to Morris. He'll run to the right-hand side. He'll drive his way inside of the 45 to around the 44-yard line. A pickup of 4 brings up 2nd down and 6.
You have to wonder if Morris was nicked up in the first 2 weeks because had a great year last year as a junior. Didn't have good numbers in week 0 and week 1, but he's been the definite stud here tonight for Fox Chapel running the football.
Gizzo pressured, releases the football across the middle, and the pass awry, intended for Cole Waxter.
Good pressure. Good job by Gizzo to avoid that pressure. He stepped up not once but twice. Joshua Rawlings came in, and he's been in there all the time. The second man who came in just a stride late was Caleb Brevard, but Brevard's hit actually made Gizzo throw off the wrong foot and caused that incompletion.
Clock stop with 8:07 to play here in quarter number 4. 3rd and 6. Pass dumped off to Micah Morris, who escapes Sidney Summers. He has the first down and more inside of the 35 to around the 31-yard line.
They're going to get
and
procedure.
a flag is down here on the near sideline. This is maybe a formational penalty, maybe an illegal procedure. Either way, it's going to go against Fox Chapel and negate of Fox's first down. Check in with Eric Hall, our referee.
Procedure is the call. And again, penalties have just destroyed Fox Chapel in this second half.
On the previous play, we have illegal formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay 3.
So it'll be 3rd down and 11 instead of 1st and 10 for Fox Chapel. Fox Chapel fans below us really starting to get aggravated with the officiating. Conversely, I think they need to be aggravated with their team because the vast majority of the penalties we've seen have been very preventable.
Very preventable, absolutely. You got the double personal foul. You got the big personal foul on the kick return, the free kick return by Waxter, and now this takes away a big gainer and a first down on a screen pass to Morris.
Gizzo in the shotgun. Looks to the right, completes the pass to the right-hand side where Cole Waxter has the first down and more. He'll be brought down inside of the 30 at around the 27-yard line. So a big turn of events there for Fox Chapel, and we'll send it down to the sideline. Rick McIntyre, that certainly may have taken the wind out of the sails for the Woodland Hills defense.
Yeah, a little bit there. That was a little disappointing. Great play call by Fox Chapel there where they cleared everybody deep on the right side, brought that wheel around the backside, and just wide open there in the flat.
Gizzo, shotgun, handoff Morris, up the gut. He'll drive his way forward inside of the 25 to around the 24-yard line before being driven to the turf. Clock winds to 7:12 here in the 4th quarter. Woodland Hills leading Fox Chapel 21-12. Fox Chapel driving.
I'm pretty sure these defenders are going to sleep well tonight for Woodland Hills.
I'd say so. As an official asks for a timeout, there's an equipment issue. As Micah Morris's chin strap has come off, and one of the offensive linemen fixes it for him. He has about 15 seconds or so to get that fixed, and then they'll wind the clock. And a handoff again to Micah Morris, running to the right-hand side, driving his way forward to the 20, then driven back. Ball came loose, but they say his forward progress was stalled.
Handoff to Micah Morris.
And it'll be a gain of about 4, bringing up 3rd down and about 3.
Morris definitely feeling it. He's got 158. Gizzo has 81 yards on the ground. Morris getting some extra yardage. It did come loose. He did a good job to reach down and sort of secure it on his knee. Then he went down, and then it came out the second time.
Gizzo running to his left-hand side. Going to go to the far boundary. He's going to step out of bounds around the 10-yard line. And a big pickup there. 10 yards for Fox Chapel gives them the ball, 1st and goal, right at the 10.
Gizzo did a nice job because I thought Bullock made a nice read and was going to come up and able to get Gizzo before he could actually turn the corner. But Gizzo used his speed to angle to the far sideline and creates a 1st and goal for the Foxes at the Woodland Hills 10-yard line.
Fox Chapel has scored 12 points today and picked up tons of yardage, but they have done it by attrition at times. Gizzo rolling right. Stepping forward, hit and brought down. The play made by Caleb Brevard, 4 yards deep in the backfield. And that'll bring up 2nd down and goal right around the 13, so make it a loss of 3.
Well, that's a design pass as Gizzo ruled to the near side, but couldn't get it. Good job by Brevard to come up, and actually Gizzo tried to slip out of that and he fell down, but it will go as a sack for Brevard. And bring up a 2nd and goal now, moving the ball back to the 13.
Gizzo's going to keep it himself, going away from the flow of the play, running to his right-hand side. And Tyrell Barlow makes the play for Woodland Hills, also involved in the tackles, Anthony Bullock. And a great job there in And you can see on the Triangle Bar and Grill replay how Barlow was just able to shed his blocker there, undercut Gizzo, and then Bullock was there to clean things up.
Textbook play for Tyrell Barlow.
Trips right in a bunch. Low snap, Gizzo looking right, late pressure, dumps it off. Open receiver around the 10-yard line, but he's only able to get up to about the 7 before he is met hard. Drew Witt is pummeled by Jaquan Smith, and that'll bring up 4th and goal at the 7, and the field goal unit will come on.
Great open field tackle by Smith. Waxter was not quite able to turn completely around, and he tried to slide back to the inside and right between the 1 and the 9 in the middle of his back. Jaquan Smith sticks him and brings him down, forcing the field goal attempt by Andrew Jeffrey.
Andrew Jeffrey, who kicked a 26-yarder early in the game, on to attempt this one a 23-yarder. And that field goal is up and in. And with 4:10 to play in regulation, it's a one-score game. Woodland Hills leads Fox Chapel 21-15. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. All presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Serving the Turtle Creek Valley and surrounding areas for over 111 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home is pleased to announce the opening of their new crematory at their Turtle Creek location. Families choosing cremation can have added peace of mind, knowing that their loved one never leaves the care of Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, and that our crematory is used exclusively for the families we serve.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
21-15, Woodland Hills on top of Fox Chapel. 4:10 to play here in the fourth quarter. Woodland Hills scoring 14 of their 21 points here in the second half. 1 TD in each quarter, 1 by the offense, 1 by the defense. And a kickoff will carry deep. And the Wolverines will return it from their own 2-yard line as Nazir Taylor picks up a block from Rodney Denard. He'll reverse his field, running to the far side, and still on his feet. How does he break tackles like that? Finally, he'll be brought down at the 16-yard line. And that was the most magnificent 15-yard kick return I may have ever seen.
Great block, by the way, by Denard. Denard made a huge block on the punt return last week, running all the way downfield to spring it for a touchdown, but Taylor broke at least 5 tackles to spring forward. He takes some time off the clock, and if you're Woodland Hills, Fox Chapel does have timeouts in their pocket, but they need a first down or 2 to take some time off the clock and protect your 6-point lead.
1st and 10 from the 16. Whitehurst under center with an eye backfield behind him. He'll hand off to Denard, who runs to the right-hand side, drives his way forward across the 20 to the 21-yard line. A couple of Foxes in on that tackle, including Chase Villani. Pick up of 5 on that play brings up 2nd and 5.
I was just thinking right before that handoff that we're going to see a whole lot of the ball stuffed in the belly of Rodney Denard. Did a good job to pick up 5. He's 90 yards unofficially on the game. Give him 91. Let's spot that ball at the 21.
Handoff. Denard bouncing to the left-hand side. He has a crease. The ball punches loose. Who comes up with the football? It's Tyrell Barlow. I don't know how, but somehow Tyrell Barlow comes out of the stack with the football.
Not only that, it's going to result in the first down. That's just great vision by Tyrell Barlow.
Yeah, Barlow was down there, and coming out of there was Eric Oliver with the rock, but either way, it's Woodland Hills football.
Denard had the ball, the correct arm, his outside arm, but a good job to come in. The ball, helmet on the ball by Luke Brown, and also Witt got his hand on it. And you thought it was going to be Villani who was on there first, but they just kind of took it away from him. Barlow took care of the pile, and Oliver took care of the football.
What happened there is that Villani slid into the pile. The ball came loose. He never had clear control of it. That's when Barlow and Oliver were able to cover it up and get the ball for Woodland Hills. 1st and 10 at the 30. Now the ball squeaks loose again. And this time the Foxes cover it up on the bad exchange between quarterback and center.
Villani gets it. Whitehurst couldn't come on with a clean exchange, and Villani gets the turnover. 4th of the game for Woodland Hills. Huge turnover. Ball right at the 30-yard line.
So Fox Chapel will get the ball with 2:44 to play here in the fourth quarter at the Woodland Hills 30-yard line after the fumble. We have seen so many turnovers today by both of these teams.
Turnovers and flags, very sloppy in this Allegheny 9 Week 3 matchup. First home conference game for Woodland Hills. Their defense, which has been great all night, they're up against it once again.
Gizzo's going to keep it himself, running to the left. He'll drive his way forward inside of the 25 to the 22-yard line. He feigned the handoff again to Micah Morris, and that option has been dangerous tonight.
No question, both Morris and Gizzo have been doing an outstanding job. And Gizzo with a nice cut. Cuts to the far side, nice tackle in the open field.
Morris barreling his way forward inside of the 20, inside of the 15, still on his feet, inside of the 10, and he'll get all the way down to the 7-yard line as the big fella just pounding the football here in the second half. There were big plays in half number 1 for Morris. He has done it with the power here in the second.
That puts him unofficially at 173 as far as running the football. I mentioned number 36, reminiscent of the bus, very reminiscent of Jerome Bettis on that run. First and goal for Fox Chapel at the Woodland Hills 7-yard line.
Morris, the sidecar to the right-hand side of Gizzo. Morris takes the handoff, drives his way to the line of scrimmage, maybe picking up a yard or two to the 5-yard line. That'll bring up second and goal at the 5, and you talked about how he resembles Jerome Bettis and runs like Jerome Bettis. He gets stronger as the game goes on, much like Jerome Bettis did.
Good tandem tackle there by Howes and Barlow. And Morris is feeling it, though. He's a little tired. I'd be surprised if it's just Gizzo on this run, and it is.
Gizzo, the ball carrier, gets to the 5, maybe to the 4-yard line before being brought down. A bunch of Wolverines down there on the bottom of the pile, including Eric Oliver. And they'll say it's third and goal at the 3.
That puts Gizzo up to 98 yards unofficially. Again, good initial contact by Howes, and a good job. The Woodland Hills hand goal defense has been great tonight.
Gizzo, shotgun, handoff. Morris, he'll get to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a half-yard gain, but no further. Tackle made by DeJuan Howells, and a timeout is called by Fox Chapel with 47 seconds to play, and it'll be fourth down and goal at the 3-yard line. We will keep it here, though, as this is a very, very important play for the Woodland Hills defense and the Fox Chapel offense.
Defensively for Woodland Hills, do they have one more stop left in them? They've been great when Fox Chapel's gotten in the red zone. They need it here. One more play to make up for the fumbled snap on the turnover. The question is, offensively, do you call number 11? Do you call number 36?
Well, I'd have to say that using the timeout, you got to give the ball to 36. We've seen his power, we've seen his speed, we've seen his ability to break tackles. And I think that at this point, if you're Woodland Hills, you're keying on Micah Morris.
Or do you go completely off the chart and call play action?
It could be. After this play, we'll send it down to Rick McIntyre and get his analysis on what has happened over the past couple of minutes, because it has been a crazy set of events in recent moments. Everyone on the Fox Chapel sideline takes a knee in hopes that Fox Chapel is able to score here and reclaim the lead on Woodland Hills. If they score a touchdown, it's tied. The PAT would give them the lead back. The situation, fourth and goal at the 3. Gizzo, sidecar to his left in Morris. Gizzo, running left, pounds his way to the goal line and into the end zone for a Fox Chapel touchdown. They were running the straight option to the left, Bobby, and Gizzo just took off towards that goal line, and into the end zone he went for the Fox Chapel TD.
His pitch man to the opposite side was Micah Morris, and he thought about it for a second. He sucked that man in, but Gizzo, very comfortable running the football, got up there. Good effort by Anthony Bullock at the goal line. Better effort from Nick Gizzo. The 3-yard touchdown run has tied this game at 21.
Huge PAT here for Andrew Jeffrey, who's kicked a PAT and a pair of field goals today. And this one is up, and it is good. And with 43 seconds to play, Woodland Hills trails for the first time since reclaiming the lead early in quarter number 3. Let's send it down to the field. Rick McIntyre, this has got to be painful for that Woodland Hills sideline.
Yeah, I'm a little bit far away from him right now. I'm keeping a little bit of distance, but Adam, these games are so much about momentum. It seems like Woodland Hills really had the momentum going into that series where they had the 2 fumbles consecutively. You get the first one back, feel like the momentum's going in your way. Second one we don't get back, and Fox Chapel just took that, came out energized and rolled. And by the way, I found out Michael Whitehurst is actually playing with a broken finger in his left hand.
Wow.
So that may explain a little bit of the high balls coming out, and it definitely explains. I talked to him about the glove. He's worried he has a tendency to get sweaty hands, and the glove he feels is helping that finger kind of stay compressed a little bit, keep the swelling down.
Well, that's got to be painful, number 1. And number 2, he's a left-handed quarterback, so that's even more so an issue for the senior quarterback, Michael Whitehurst. Woodland Hills scoring 14 unanswered points to start the second half. Now Fox Chapel has scored 8 unanswered, or rather 12 unanswered in an unconventional fashion to reclaim the lead, 22-21. Now a deep kickoff will go to Nazir Taylor on that far sideline. Taylor down the far boundary. He'll be forced out of bounds at around the 29-yard line, where Woodland Hills is 71 yards away from winning this football game. But Woodland Hills needs to value the football because they have turned it over in bunches today. Not to say that Fox Chapel hasn't done their share either of making mistakes.
Nazir Taylor, who's been the big play man for Woodland Hills through the first couple of weeks, no receptions tonight. You've got to try to maybe spring number 1 open. As you mentioned, it's 71 yards away from a touchdown, although you got a pretty good field goal kicker in Chucky Hanchett, so we got some timeouts as well for Woodland Hills. See if they can matriculate the ball off the field and get into field goal territory for Hanchett.
Trips left, 1 receiver to the right-hand side. Sidecar to the left of Whitehurst. Straight drop back. Pressured. Rolling near boundary. Throws. Denard, first down for the Wolverines. Out across the 40 to the 42-yard line, a pickup of 12. Make it 13. A Baker's dozen on the reception.
I'm not sure if Whitehurst saw Denard break open. He kind of broke the pattern off. He was more towards the near boundary, and then as Whitehurst was forced out of the pocket, he kind of stopped. Denard got open on the hash mark. He saw him. He hit him. They gained 13. Woodland Hills takes their first timeout.
Timeout on the field. We'll step away, too. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
LG3 Entertainment is a first-class disc jockey and karaoke entertainment company that serves the Pittsburgh and surrounding areas. They offer a wide range of music entertainment for weddings, anniversaries, school dances, corporate events, and more. They also offer beautiful chair cover linen rentals to give your event the elegance it deserves. They offer many more services, so go to their website today and see why so many choose LG3 Entertainment for the best in family fun entertainment.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football. You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Trips right, 1 receiver to the left-hand side. Whitehurst throws right, completes the pass. Jaden Lucas has it for a Woodland Hills first down at the Fox Chapel 45-yard line. He would have been well served to step out of bounds there. Instead, Woodland Hills is going to have to get back to the line of scrimmage and clock the football. And Whitehurst will do so. A chest pass to the floor. And the incomplete pass will bring up second down and 10. And Bobby O, boy, I'll tell you what, Jaden Lucas right there, the junior, would have been very well served to step out of bounds. It would have conserved a down and could have conserved a timeout.
Absolutely. You think better of it, but you got to know the game and clock situation. Lucas could have stepped out. It makes it second down. The ball's at the 45, so really comfortably you need about maybe 25 yards, I would think, for Hanchett to get the ball near the 20.
Trips left, 1 receiver to the far side right. Sidecar to the left-hand side of Michael Whitehurst. Whitehurst in the shotgun, straight drop back. He'll heave it down the middle. Triple coverage. The pass intended for Denard will hit the turf, incomplete, and that will bring up 3rd down and 10. The ball at the 45 with 12 seconds to play. Woodland Hills down 1 with the ball at the Fox Chapel 45.
Well, you mentioned it's scary there to throw in the triple coverage. The good result for Woodland Hills is it went incomplete. This Hoover got his hands up and almost, Denard was almost able to slip by him. Now, if you're Woodland Hills, you maybe want to look to pick up this 1st down. You do have timeouts left. And think maybe possibly in a 2-play sequence here.
Trips left, 1 receiver right. Sidecar to the left-hand side of Whitehurst. Low snap, Whitehurst gathers it in. Looks right, throws right. Pass complete. Over to that far sideline goes Michael Coleman for Woodland Hills' 1st down with 8 seconds to play.
Pass complete to Michael Coleman.
Smart play there by Coleman to catch it and run right out of bounds after the pickup of about 11.
Well, that's the good thing. The bad thing is you got 8 seconds. I mentioned I think you need to get the ball maybe to the 20-yard line, so you got 1 play to try to pick up 15. The situation is you just try to get as much as you can, and then the decision comes, do you put Hanchett out to go for the win on the field goal, or you try to chuck it into the end zone? Huge, huge, huge play here, and I think substitution against Woodland Hills is going to cost them 5.
Yeah, Woodland Hills had 1 too many men out there on the field in the huddle, and that's going to be costly for Woodland Hills. So instead of 1st and 10 at the 34, it's going to be 1st and 15 back at the 39-yard line.
Looking about picking up about 20 yards, and that's not the bad thing. The bad thing is the Wolverines just have 8 seconds to try to do that.
Whitehurst has to be cognizant of the clock here. Has to have that count in his head. Whitehurst, straight drop back. He'll throw to the right-hand side. The pass complete. Over on that far boundary. Nazir Taylor steps out of bounds with 3 seconds to play at the 27-yard line. Tim Bostard is going to send out Chucky Hanchett for a game-winning field goal attempt.
No hesitation at all on putting Hanchett out there, Adam. None at all.
The ball on the right hash. It sets at the 27-yard line. Michael Whitehurst will receive the snap at the 34. It'll be a 44-yard field goal attempt. Tim Bostard wants to talk things over, though.
Hanchett had a 26-yarder. His only field goal so far in the year. In the win last week, or 28-yarder over Baldwin. He's been perfect on extra points. They're confident in him. Now, it's rare, though. Tim Bostard wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page. I don't think he's rethinking the decision, but it's rare that you would think Fox Chapel would take a timeout to maybe ice Hanchett. I think they got the correct angle for the right-footed kicker. The ball on the right hash.
Again, Whitehurst is the holder.
43, they moved that up an inch, up a yard. They set that tee up at the 43. 33, so it's a 43-yard attempt.
Marcus Taylor, the long snapper. Chucky Hanchett, this will be a 43-yard field goal attempt to win the football game. And Fox Chapel
Here comes the
will
freeze.
use a timeout.
Timeout. Fox Chapel.
And it's funny, as I take a look over to that far sideline, Chucky Hanchett continues to kind of stand in the background of his huddle. And I look over to the far sideline, and standing virtually by himself, maybe with a couple of coaches right near him, is Woodland Hills kicking coach Scott Henderson, who I'm sure is just as nervous as Chuck Hanchett is right now.
You practice this time and time again during the week, but the pressure gets more immense in the game. Hanchett's a pretty good kicker. He seems pretty calm out there, but you mentioned he was kind of off to the back of the rear of that huddle.
Ball on the right hash. The line of scrimmage is the 27. The ball will be placed by Michael Whitehurst at the 33.
Another
Fox Chapel's
Chapel
going to use
timeout.
another timeout. That is their final one, much to the chagrin of the Woodland Hills fans on the far sideline. Well, this has been a crazy second half, Bobby. The teams came out of the locker room, Fox Chapel leading Woodland Hills 10-7. The Wolverines scored first on a 4-yard touchdown run by Rodney Denard. The Foxes answered on a safety, on a bad punt snap that carried over the head of Michael Whitehurst. That followed a turnover on downs by the Foxes after they went 79 yards on a drive. That drive stopped at the 1 yard line. A punt by Fox Chapel, a pick six by the Wolverines made it 21-12. Fox Chapel, though, has scored the last last 10 points. High snap, hold down, kick up by Hanchett, and that kick, it falls just short. And the Fox Chapel Foxes defeat the Woodland Hills Wolverines 22-21. Fox Chapel, their first victory of the year, while Woodland Hills falls to 1-2 on the season and 1-1 in Allegheny 9 play.
Snap a little high, but Hanchett, Whitehurst was able to get it down. Hanchett got the opportunity to get it out there, but it fell just a little bit short. Talked about trying to get that ball closer to the 20. He would have had plenty of distance from there. Good job of the final drive by Woodland Hills. Fox Chapel, though, does just enough. Gizzo's touchdown with 43 seconds left, and the Jeffrey extra point gives the Foxes their first victory in 2017.
Again, your final score, 22-21. Fox Chapel defeats Woodland Hills. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. When we return, it will be the the post-game show as Woodland Hills falls again to 1-2 on the year with this loss to Fox Chapel.
Whether you need a new website or want to improve your existing site, Web Landings can serve your needs. Web Landings provides professional, easy-to-maintain websites for businesses, organizations, and individuals. Discover more at weblandings.com and find out how editing your site can be as easy as using a word processor. Plus, we offer 1 year of free hosting for any website developed. Visit weblandings.com today.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
A tough loss for Woodland Hills as they fall to Fox Chapel 22-21. Woodland Hills trailed Fox Chapel 10-7 at halftime. The Wolverines scoring a touchdown by Rodney Denard. A safety by Fox Chapel made it 14-12. You follow that up by a pick six by Jaquan Smith, and it's 21-12. A field goal by Fox Chapel's Andrew Jeffrey made it 21-15. But Woodland Hills turns the football over after that field goal on a fumbled snap. The exchange between quarterback and center goes awry, and it's covered up by Fox Chapel. And a 30-yard touchdown drive is capped off by a 3-yard touchdown run by the quarterback, Nick Gizzo, on 4th and goal at the 3. Woodland Hills had an opportunity with the ball at their own 29-yard line with 37 seconds to play. They drove it all the way down to the Fox Chapel 27, where Chucky Hanchett came on to attempt a game-winning field goal of 43 yards. The snap a bit high. The hold was down by Whitehurst, though, and the kick ended up carrying just a bit short. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist on the call for you here on the post-game show. Rick McIntyre down on the field. And, Bobby, this obviously a very, very tough one as Woodland Hills had really reclaimed momentum in this football game, re-seized the game. They had it in their hands, and they watched it slip away in the latter stages of quarter number 4.
Yeah, you're going to look back at that series. They dodged a bullet once when Denard fumbled, but Woodland Hills recovered it. Very next play, a bad exchange from center. Whitehurst can't get the ball. Valani recovers the fumble. That gives the touchdown, ends up in the touchdown drive and the touchdown by Gizzo. And then Jeffrey's extra point gives Fox Chapel the winning margin. Just mistakes on both sides of the football. Lots of penalties for Fox Chapel. Turnovers, especially that one, was a killer for Woodland Hills. Give the Wolverines credit. They didn't have a lot of time to move the ball down the field, but they did get an opportunity, at least at the end of the contest, to get a Hanchett field goal attempt from 43, but it fell short.
Let's send it down to the field where Rick McIntyre will join us. And, Rick, this has to be a very, very tough loss for this Woodland Hills football team as they had the game in their hands. They watched it slip away, and they had a chance at the end, but the field goal just came up short.
Okay, sorry. My mic was not working there for a minute. I apologize. Yeah, I mean, any loss you take, especially on home turf, is a tough one. 2 losses in a row makes it a little bit more bitter. Games like this, I don't know about you, Adam, but in my days, I would rather have been blown out than to come that close and just come up, a couple feet short of getting through that uprights. I think Bob made a good point there. That last drive, I was really proud of the Woodland Hills offense. They kept their composure. Mike Whitehurst, I think, put a nice drive together there to at least put him in the position to get that kick in the air and have a chance to win this game back.
Rick, did you have an opportunity to take a look at the demeanor of both Michael Whitehurst and Chucky Hanchett at the end of that game? Obviously, Hanchett missed the field goal, number one, but number two, Whitehurst fumbled that snap that ended up giving Fox Chapel the ball back for their touchdown that ended up winning the football game.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to run into the kicker after the game. I did see Michael, shook his hand, told him he made a nice drive there at the end, kept his team in it. Obviously, he's disappointed. You could see it in his eyes. He's a little upset, a little heartbroken, but knowing the Whitehurst family as I do, he's going to snap out of this real quick, and by tomorrow morning, he's thinking about next Friday.
Rick, thanks a lot. And folks watching on TV and listening on the MSA Sports Network, we're going to step away for a couple of minutes. And when we return, we are going to take a run through our post-game superlatives, including our State Senator Jay Costa Player of the Game, as well as our Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home Play of the Game. All of that and more as the post-game show rolls on right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com. The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
We return here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. We'll let you know who our player of the game was, as well as what the play of the game was. All of that and more as the post-game show rolls on right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Come on, get off.
Run, walk two.
Yeah, I can't get this.
Just run it.
Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, with locations in East Pittsburgh and Turtle Creek, is a member of the Hall of Excellence of the National Funeral Directors Association. This reflects the same pursuit of excellence by our Woodland Hills football team, cheerleaders, marching band, students, staff, and faculty. For over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home has been honored to serve local families and to be a proud partner of the Woodland Hills communities. Bush Brothers Car Care Center in Swissvale has been a mechanic and tire shop for all types of vehicles. Whether you need mechanical work, alignment, state inspection, emissions testing, new tires, or just an oil change, Bush Brothers is the place for you. Bush Brothers Car Care Center, Monongahela Avenue in Swissvale, or give Martin and Jason a call at 412-351-5342. There are few things that guys like more than a great haircut at a real barbershop. And at the Barber's Inn on Washington Avenue in Swissvale, you'll find both. Plus, you can relax in style on supple leather sofas while watching their big screen HD TV. You can even shoot some pool while you wait. But most importantly, you'll walk out the door with a haircut or shave you're sure to love. Walk-ins are always welcome at the Barber's Inn in Swissvale. For more information, call 412-271-7434. And remember, real men come to the Barber's Inn. Today's broadcast of Woodland Hills football is brought to you by the Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club. Since 1905, Rotary clubs across the globe have brought business and professional leaders together to provide humanitarian services, encourage high ethical standards in all vocations, and to advance goodwill and peace around the world. The Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club meets every Friday at noon at Shelley Pie. Rotary, service above self.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Falls to Fox Chapel 22-21. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist, Rick McIntyre wrapping things up for you here in the Woodland Hills Football Network post-game show. A ferocious comeback by Woodland Hills, followed by a ferocious comeback by Fox Chapel. And the Fox Chapel Foxes get their first win of the season, while Woodland Hills faces their first conference loss of the year. Woodland Hills is now 1-2 on the season, while Fox Chapel also 1-2. Both teams 1-1 in conference play. Time to award our State Senator Jay Costa Player of the Game and the Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home Play of the Game. And we'll start off with the latter of the two, and that was the pick six by Jaquan Smith, a play that put Woodland Hills out on top of Fox Chapel 21-12. And guys, what I thought was so spectacular about that was Woodland Hills took the 14-10 lead, and then you followed that up with the fact that there was the safety, made it 14-12. But then Jaquan Smith opened up that 8-point lead again for the Wolverines.
His second interception of the game, too, both really athletic. But we talked about it up here, Rick. You practiced the tip drill, which was impressive, and then the run was also impressive. Thought he was going to be pulled down by the shirt tackle of his T-shirt, but Denard got in there, and Smith was able to spin into the end zone. Great athletic play, and he was great all around tonight for Woodland Hills.
Absolutely. It was hands down the play of the game. The situation-wise, play-wise itself. Like you said, the tip drill, I may have been imagining Adam, but I'm pretty sure I heard pass, ball, bingo from the sideline out there. You know, which is, I'm not sure how many other teams do it, but that was drilled into us, you know, playing at Woodland Hills. And excellent effort, and he made one heck of a run to get into the end zone there and put him back up.
And Jaquan Smith made an excellent effort there and throughout the football game today. As Bobby alluded to, a couple of interceptions today, one in the first half, plus that pick six that it was our Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home Play of the game. And you add to that a 27-yard touchdown run to start the scoring in this football game, and he is our State Senator Jay Costa Player of the Game. And for the second year in a row, Jaquan Smith has a wonderful football game against the Fox Chapel Foxes.
Yeah, scored twice in the win last year against Fox Chapel. 46 yards, including 27-yard touchdown run, 2 interceptions, 5 tackles. Jaquan Smith all over the stat sheet tonight.
Yeah, he was just a punt return touchdown short of, I think hitting the cycle at that point. And just overall, this was probably one of the best high school football games I think I've ever been a part of and got to watch. It didn't come up the way the Wolverines wanted, but that was an exciting game to watch. I was glad here to see it.
Next week, Woodland Hills steps out of conference again as they will take on the Penn Trafford Warriors, the team the Wolverines fell to on the road a season ago, and things certainly won't be any easier for Woodland Hills as they take on PT next week, and it'll be a tough task, and Bobby, you and Rick will be on the call for that one up here in the booth.
Yeah, another tough non-conference game, the opening game against Gateway, one of the top teams in 5A. Penn Trafford's defense through the first 2 weeks has been really good. So another tough task here at the Wolverina. I was thinking, ironically, George Novak had 239 wins as the head coach of Woodland Hills. There's no wins yet at George A. Novak Field. Maybe not a good ironic thing for Woodland Hills.
Did we get that number wrong? Didn't George? Didn't
He had over 300 wins.
239
at
Woodland
Hills.
At Woodland Hills. I apologize.
Yes.
Don't want anybody to be slighting Big Dog.
Right.
I would be, least of all me, absolutely.
But again, Rick, a tough task next week for Woodland Hills as they take on Penn Trafford, a team that has always been a very formidable foe.
Absolutely. I mean, going back to the days when I was playing with them, they had some really good squads there. We went out there that one year in the playoffs, and I think Melvin ran for 400 yards maybe.
Yes. And
we were, nowhere near favored to win that game. Woodland Hills is always pretty resilient. We talked about it last week at Baldwin after that Gateway game. The bounce back factor, coming back, focused, ready to play. Having a short memory is a very valuable asset in football.
Again, Woodland Hills falls to the Fox Chapel Foxes here at the Wolverina, 22-21 after Woodland Hills held a lead of 21-12. Fox Chapel ripped off 10 unanswered points to defeat the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage of Woodland Hills and Fox Chapel here at the Wolverina today. Again, Bob Orquist and Rick McIntyre will be on the call for you next Friday night as the Wolverines take on the aforementioned Penn Trafford Warriors in a non-conference matchup. For Bobby O, for Rick McIntyre, and for our entire Woodland Hills television crew, I'm Adam Gusky. We will talk to you again next week as Woodland Hills takes on Penn Trafford. One more time, your final score: Woodland Hills falls to Fox Chapel 22-21. You've been tuned in to the Wolverines and the Foxes on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa, right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Today's broadcast of Wolverine football was presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Wolverine football is also brought to you by the Triangle Bar and Grill, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, Bush Brothers Car Care, the Barbers Inn in Swissvale, A-Boss Opticians, the Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club, Web Landing, and LG3 Entertainment. This broadcast has been a presentation of A.W. Gusky Productions and LG3 Entertainment. Copyright 2017.